Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. However you happen to be watching and or listening to this, I want to welcome you to the latest episode of the Gaming Circle podcast. The podcast where this week, I think we might be changing this to the Gaming Steam podcast, because oh boy, it's gonna be a wild one today, I suspect. I'm your host, Mr. Kiasante.
Come on, you got to do better with your branding. It would be the Gabe Circle podcast.
The Gaming Circle podcast. Oh boy, damn it.
Or hey, the Gabe Cube podcast.
Too far.
I don't think I've gone far enough, actually.
By the wordsmith himself, Mr. Everborn Saga. Good morning, sir.
What's happening? I am it is now in Casa del Everborn decoration season.
Oh boy.
So I spent my entire morning putting together Christmas trees and also putting together like 6-foot ornaments of Mickey and Minnie Mouse, and the festivities have only just begun with what I have to do. Now I got to start hanging lights and all that jazz.
Trips onto ladders and whatnot.
Absolutely.
Chevy
Chase all day. If you know, you know.
Chase. Yes, indeed. Now, welcome to all the fine folks who are watching both online on all the various platforms. We see a bunch of y'all already in here. If you happen to watch on Twitter, shout out to y'all on either the Xbox, hilarious, on the my YouTube channel, or on Mr. Everborn Saga's YouTube channel, or even on our proverbial Twitter channels as well. So thank you guys so much for checking us out. If you are on YouTube, how about you hit that like button? How about you consider subscribing if you're new here? You know what we do here. We do this every week. And actually, we are at episode 199, ladies and gentlemen. Buck 99, meaning next week is the fabled episode 200. Should be interesting. We're still ideating on what what will happen on that day, but I suspect you're going to see some of the great members that have joined us in past episodes possibly pull up. Should be a fun time to be had by all. But yeah, for now, let's do this thing like we always do, sir. There's some games to be talked about. There's some industry things to be discussed. But I know you want to talk also. You had some games you wanted to discuss yesterday that I told you to step on for this episode, sir. So how about we begin there? What are some of the games you want to discuss today?
All right. There are. It's one in particular. I don't want to get into Dispatch yet. I'm hearing Game of the Year.
I haven't started Dispatch at all.
I've done the first 2 episoes. I was waiting for Wednesday.
Yes. I waited till it was all over. I'm going to start this weekend. I haven't started.
Yeah, it's my plan to go and finish it this weekend. So we'll save that discussion for next week. Maybe we can do an in-depth, and then it'll give other people time to play it. So Dispatch talk is coming if people are here for that, but it'll be next week after both Kay and myself have completed the 8 chapters. All right. The other game. I finished Shinobi. I don't know if I said that last week, but Shinobi is.
You did, yep.
But the game that has been taking all of my attention is a game you may not have heard of, and it is called Gigasword. Now, you and I went to PAX East earlier this year in Boston, and we actually got to meet the developer of this game. It's a solo dev. Shout out to Jez Cordan.
Hey,
how you doing, sir?
The great Jez Cordan's in the
Jez, I think you got some people misquoting you or quoting you correctly. I don't know, but quoting you out of context about some comments you made, which is probably normal for you, but I just thought it was funny.
Another day.
Yeah. Anyways, so this game's called Gigasword. It is a 2D platformer, but it is done in the style of the early 16-bit era and or late sort of NES era, like the sound effects, everything. It's pixel art. It is a Metroidvania, but it's all like a puzzle. So each room in the map is like a little bit of a puzzle you have to solve. And you carry around a very large sword, hence the name Gigasword. But the sword is like Kratos's hammer, right? You can use it to unlock things. it's Kratos' hammer. You know what I'm saying? Kratos is
and this will be the opportunity I will use to do a cheap plug, because we interviewed the gentleman who actually is the single developer. You see him on your screen here. This is
he's
Everborn
dressed
Saga
up as a
interviewing
character
him.
in the game.
Dressed up as a character, yes, indeed. So now the game is out, and we're playing it. Please continue, and I think there's some gameplay interstitials as well. Please.
Yes. So you can leave the sword and use it to, you know, put on things that require weight, but the sword also holds you down. But if you leave the sword, you can't attack, and then, you know, you get these other powers and things like that. So combat is really fun, and you see, you use the sword to kind of interact with these levels, and every room has something like some sort of gimmick like that where you got to use the sword to get through it. So it works really, really well, and I'm really surprised at how addicting it is. So it came out a couple days ago, and I just cannot stop playing it. Like, and this is nothing to do with what. Oh, also you can't swim if you have a sword with you, so sometimes you have to put it down.
I saw a little bit of that. Was like it has a very Nintendo energy to it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like,
that's what I mean.
Even the swimming levels. What does that remind me of? It reminds me a little bit of like maybe the TMNT games, old Nintendo TMNT games, the swimming.
Well, no, not TMNT, because it's more of a Metroidvania. But I know what you mean.
No, I understand. But yes, the TMNT swimming. See, I knew it. Umbra knows exactly what I'm talking about. I knew that. Like, I was like, hey, that looks very familiar to me. But that's good. That's real cool.
Yeah. So the other thing that really stood out with this, you see, when you have the sword, that you can't like swim, you gotta, you know what I mean?
You're walking.
So it holds you down, but it gives you a lot of ability. So there's a push and pull. It's really well thought out. And now the thing that's going to stand out with this game is the story. He built like a proper fantasy world with lore, and you got these owls that are kind of like, they're not demigods, but they came from an older time, and they're the ones who have access to magic, but the humans are starving, and the owls are trying to like keep everybody safe, but the humans don't know that. So they think the owls are like hoarding wealth and power. And so the humans, this is all in the beginning of the game, I'm not spoiling it for you. So the humans go to attack the owls, and then all hell breaks loose. And then you, who's just like a homeless kid, like is caught in the middle of it. And there's like some revenge stuff going on in there. It's really, really a really well realized world, and the gameplay itself just kind of takes you back. The puzzles aren't too difficult. It's just thinking about how to use the sword in the situation and what you want you to do. But like, it is like, I'm surprised that just one person came up with all this. And the only gripes that I have with it is there's no settings to the game. All you can do in the settings is turn up and down the sound effects and music volume. So like, you can't remap your buttons. You can't set the resolution. I think it's like set to a 720p resolution that kind of spreads out, but it's pixel art, so it's fine. But the point is, I'd like to be able to remap the buttons, because I'm someone who likes to use B to dodge, and this forces you to use LB because there's no remapping of the buttons. But again, I cannot recommend this thing enough. I've been playing it nonstop since it came out.
Put a link in the chat to the Steam page. We, as I said, we interviewed the gentleman who made this, developer by Studio Hybrid, published by what is it? Akapura Games. I think is how you pronounce it. But one gentleman that basically
one guy for the whole thing. This is why I'm not like going too crazy about the settings. This was a bigger studio, I'd be making a lot of noise, but like,
it's a one guy, like, you know, and it seems to play well, and it's optimized well. It's basically a Nintendo game for the modern era.
And it has a surprisingly good plot. Like it is really, really good. So I don't know how long the game is, because I'm only a few hours in, but I just can't stop playing it. So this is, I think I'm gonna no life this thing till it's over.
Hey, I might start playing this myself. I mean, I've been looking forward to it since we spoke to the developer. But yeah, and it's out now, and it's, I think, 10% off, $13 in the States. Check it out. You know, it's awesome. I love seeing these one one small team developers, like, we had that cool idea, they had that cool spark. We found them, talked to them, and here it is, and it looks like they've made good on the idea. It looks really cool, yeah. I'm excited to check it out. All right, so that is Gigasword. Anything else you've been playing on your radar there, good sir?
Hold on, let me go check. I think that's really all I can. I mean, I've also been playing Ninja Gaiden 4 entirely on the Xbox Ally X. I haven't even played it on the big rig yet.
You know what? Before we even continue, on the fly, Mr. Infinite Umbra has a great idea. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. I have decided, decreed, it shall be done. On episode 199, somewhere in this episode, we'll do a giveaway, and you can win Gigasword. Why the hell not? Let's do it, because that's a cool looking game, and obviously for all y'all out there with your little cool handhelds, this will play really great on that. So thank you, Umbra. Great idea.
Confirm.
We will do a giveaway for Gigasword at some point today. So keep checking us out. But anyway, continue. What else you were saying you were playing?
I think that's all I really want to go into right now. As MJ Dark says, though, I am looking forward to Metroid Prime 4. So
okay. I want to talk a bit more about Neon Inferno, but before we do that, I want to ask you, sir, have you continued to play, or have you even started playing a game called The Outer Worlds 2?
I have started playing it, and I've explicitly decided to put it down because I was going back and forth between that and Ninja Gaiden 4, and I felt like I wasn't paying attention to either. And so I said, let me just do Ninja Gaiden 4 and just finish that and then go to Outer Worlds. But I'm very happy with Outer Worlds. And here's my problem. I'm trying to saying I'm going to finish Ninja Gaiden 4, and then Gigasword comes out, and I'm like, ooh, squirrel. And now I'm playing Gigasword. So this is my life.
I understand, sir. I understand. But all right. So I'm not gonna say anything different that you guys haven't heard. Outer Worlds 2. Honestly, I'll throw it out there. That game should be on people's lists. It should be on people's lists. It is so awesome. I am finding so much more to love every time I jump into the game, and it's unusually like playable on handhelds. As deep and as big as the game is, you'd think that you'd have to do a lot of cutting of resources to try and make it fit. It plays so easily on these handhelds, and I found myself playing. I think I'm about almost 40 hours into the game now. I've been playing almost 80% of that game on handheld. I tried to play it on the console a little bit just to see how it was with kiddos. I played there for a little bit, but by and large, most of the time has been spent on the old MSI Claw here, and it's been a great experience. So I hope more people are playing it. The storytelling in it, the gameplay elements in it, the combat system, the way the story is doled out. I mean, it's just fantastic. Please tell me I'm wrong here, sir.
You are not wrong. But again, you're talking to somebody who has like 4 hours into it, so I can't speak to it like you can. I finally was able to come back to the other one that I wanted to tell people about.
Okay.
Like you guys all know, I'm a whore for a good 2D platformer.
Oh man, here we go.
But there's a game that is called Windswept.
Windswept. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You play as a bird and a turtle, and it plays like Super Mario World, very specifically Super Mario, not Super Mario Brothers 3, not anything later. Super Mario World is what it plays like.
Interesting.
So,
all right,
I don't know if you can get any. Yeah. So you and the turtle, and you use the turtle back and forth to, do stuff. But yeah, it's if you want a more old school Mario style game, this is going to be it for you. So, you jump on the enemy's heads, all that jazz. You get the turtle. You use the turtle to throw at people and get to higher places, things like that.
Hey, check it out. Serendipitous.
Oh,
Alex F10 says, I just rolled credits on Windswept, doing the post game now. Great game, gets challenging in the later level. Awesome.
yeah. One thing I would say about the game, I don't know if it does a great job at onboarding. There's a lot of so it's easy to play, but the way they try to explain some of the stuff you have to do is a little confusing. But once it's almost like I had to figure it out on my own, and the instructions they're giving you don't help. You can see some of it now, like you see that transparent thing they're showing you. They're like, oh, you can do that, but like the way they tell you to do it, they're trying to be intuitive, but it's not like.
So the language they're using that's not like specific instructions isn't working.
Yeah, and they're you see it. They're trying to
they're trying to show you how it works.
It's really confusing at what they're trying to tell you to do. Like you just almost have to ignore it. But again, this is like an opening level issue. So once you're in the game, like you just learn the mechanics and you start doing it. But like very fun kind of. You see, it's really like Super Mario World.
Yeah, it has a lot of Super Mario energy. Which hey, I'm here for it, man. It's been long enough. You know, we can use those gameplay elements in a new, interesting way. I wonder why a turtle and a duck, though. But okay,
they're trying to stay away from the Nintendo Ninjas, probably.
They're trying to, but I wonder, of all the things you could do, a turtle and a duck, and a generic one at that. Like it doesn't look like it's, but it's beautiful looking. It's quite a complete looking package. So yeah, and it looks like it's been I'm looking at the footage of it. It looks like the game has been out for at least 2 years. Or at least some.
Oh, is that so? I just found out about it this week.
Yeah, so it's been out for a minute. So yeah, I'm surprised that it took us this long to get to this. But
all right, and cool. Last but not least, this is an old game. I picked it up because it was on my wish list for a long time, and then it went on sale for a pretty decent price. It's called Crypt Custodian.
Oh, that sounds familiar. Like, explain it a little bit. That does sound familiar to me.
So it is from a developer named Kyle something or other. He made the game Islets. It's him and his brother. They're a two-man show. By the way, Alex in the chat, Alex F10 says it's only been out for a few days. It was a demo
it has?
for 2 years.
Oh, it has a different. Okay. Yeah. I stand corrected. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
But yeah, so Islets was more of their take on the sort of 2D platformer, and this is their take on the top-down 2D action game, 2D adventure game.
Oh,
apparently it's also in Game Pass, but it had a really steep sale this week, so I finally decided to add it to the library. Yeah, it's very sort of Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past style gameplay.
Very interesting energy with this stuff. Yeah, that's cool. That's very cool, and I like the art style. It looks like they have very nice animations, and they spent some time on it. That's cool.
Yeah, you're a cat who died and has now. This is the afterlife for that cat. So
it's almost like the penguin. What's it called? The door.
Death's Door.
Death's Door. Almost Death's Door like in its execution. Yeah. So, it's got also interesting enemies. That's cool. All right. Yeah. I do see what you mean by that. They made Islets. It's the same kind of designer who made this. You can see his signature.
Yeah. They're a two-man show. Like one brother does the music, the other brother does the art and the coding, and dynamic duo.
Very impressive. Cool. Yeah.
I think it's awesome. Kyle Thompson or something like that.
All right.
Yeah, I spoke to him a while back. I tried to get him on the show, but he was so busy when Islets came out. I got to reach out to him again. Maybe we can get him on here.
Very nice, Mr. Everborn Saga with the deep gems, man, deep cuts, the almost Nintendo-like energy. Look at this. By the way, what is this on? I know that Islets eventually ended up on everything, like Switch and everything. Is this on everything as well, or is it right now? It's just straight up?
Yeah. It's on Game Pass right now.
Nice.
I got it on Steam, but it's everywhere.
Fantastic, awesome. You're building my wish list as we speak. So I didn't even have. I had this on the list, but it's been a minute.
You know how we do.
Yeah. You know what it is. All right. So okay,
that's all I got for this week.
Okay. Well, no, it's not all you got for this week, because you too have been playing. I don't know how much of it you've been playing, but have you been playing more of Neon Inferno?
No, I haven't gotten back to it. It's on my list, but as you can see, I have game ADD. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we won't spend too much time on this. I discussed this before, and I just want to mention it again because I've continued to play it. I love this game. It has amazing aesthetics and graphics. And it's actually funny enough, it dovetails really nicely into the big conversation that we want to talk about, which is, you know, all the stuff that Steam has announced and all of this, because it is kind of related to what Steam has announced. Funny enough, I've been playing this thing on an Android phone for most of the time I've been playing it, because there are tools out there. We'll talk about that later on the show, that you can use to play Steam games on phones, basically. And I have an Odin 2 portal. So and the reason why I wanted to do this is because if you look at the game's art style, this thing screams for a great OLED screen, right? As you can see, it's very much stylized for the CRT, right? You can remove all of that if you want, scan lines and the vignetting and all of that. You can remove the CRT warping. All of that can be removed, but it's made to look very much Neo Geo style energy and all of that, and it just looks amazing on an OLED screen. So I have been playing this on the Odin 2 portal. That just happens to be an ARM-based Android device, but because of this tool, Game Hub Lite, namely, I've been able to play this really well, beautifully on that OLED screen. It like 1080p 60 runs really well. Needless to say, the game itself is really cool. Like it if you haven't seen it or played it before, or seen any footage on it, it's kind of harking back to the old school style. Every level gives you kind of the member berries of another game that you probably remember. This kind of really speaks to the same kind of energy we've been playing all day, talking about the game styles we've been playing all day today, which is basically, when you're playing it, you'll remember that, oh, this will remind you of TMNT, for example, in a certain level, where for example, the surfing level in the sewer.
More Neo Geo vibes for those type of games. But
Neo Geo as well. Yep, I get a lot, and that's because of the scan lines and all of that. It really reminds me of playing some Neo Geo games that I used to love, especially games that had what do you call it, like the shoot 'em ups, with all the It doesn't necessarily do that specific gameplay style here, but it's very nice. It's very, very nice. And it has like boss battles that you have to like systematically get through, and very puzzle-esque in its execution. It can get very difficult, so it's really cool. And yes, Erodimus, call it the Retro Gaming Podcast, the Gaming Circle Podcast. That's what we are. Absolutely. And yes, this is why I said it's kind of related, because Game Hub Lite is using FX simulation that SteamOS is using for Steam Frame. Thank you, sir. See, our audience so knowledgeable, so knowledgeable in what was going on. We've been playing with this FX open source FX implementation for a while now. For about a year and a half. But of course, we knew that Steam has been kind of backing it and been contributing to it for a while now. So now, of course, we know why they were doing it. They're adding it to the Steam Frame, which is next level interesting. So we'll talk a bit more about that later. But yeah, I've been using that to play this. I use that to play Silk Song, a few other things. Plays absolutely amazingly, and for the right hardware, and you have a great screen, it totally works. So it has not officially come out. Has it come out yet? It officially comes out. When does this come out? I think it comes out in a few days, if I'm not mistaken. Do you know when Neon Inferno comes out?
No idea.
Okay, so let me check it out here. Neon Inferno. So it releases on the 20th of this month, so in 5 days. And I would ask that you put it on your list. It's a really cool game. They did provide me a code, full disclosure. We did get a chance to chat with them. Also, the same day we actually chatted with a gentleman from Gigasword. We got a chance to meet this gentleman and chat with him also at PAX East. And his game is also releasing relatively soon. That's Zenovia Interactive. I think I spoke about it last week as well, but I'm in the late stage of the game now, so I figured I'd let y'all know. It's a really cool game. So if you haven't played it before, give it a shot. It is Neon Inferno. And there's that. Oh, I see the great Mr. Paris Lillis in here. He says, let me know when y'all want to jump into the Steam Machine talk. Oh, for sure, sir. The invite is out. Sir, we want to hear what your opinions are, because it's an interesting topic. Mr. Everborn Saga, if any other games or things you want to discuss, or we want to head right into the Steam talk.
I think right at the 10:30 mark, which is where we are, is the perfect place to get into the Steam machine talk.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sure both
Mr.
of
Lily,
us have
you are welcome.
a lot to say.
Mr. Lily, you are welcome to join us. You have access to the link. If you need a different link access or something's wrong, you are welcome. I will send it to you. Actually, he does need a new one. I will send you a new one. No worries, good sir.
Well,
anyway, Mr. Everborn Saga, how about you start us off? We did see this thing. It's been kind of like in the circles that certain people run. This has been kind of like a known thing that's about to be hitting us for a while now.
I mean, you and I had coined it the Steam box before. We've been talking about this for years now.
Yes. Both the VR headset and the desktop variant and all that stuff. We all knew that it's been rumored to be coming for a while now, right? So now we finally get to see what it looks like. Let me put that thing up on the screen here, and you can find it. And
hey, would you look at that? A PC in the living room is a good thing now.
Bro, stop it. We're not doing the shadow.
No, I'm not gonna stop it.
We're not doing the shadow box. We're moving on from the shadow box. We're moving on from the shadow box. But okay, let's start first and foremost with the hardware that everybody wants to talk about, because I want to talk about the VR headset. That's what I want to talk about.
I thought you would want to talk about the controller the most, believe it or not.
The controller is also quite interesting. We'll get into that as well. But I think that the controller is more a companion to the Steam machine, even though it can be sold that separately. And I have the Gen 1 controller as well. But I know you're excited mostly about
reminding everyone of.
Oh, I love that thing. The Steam machine. Let's talk about that Steam machine, sir. What are your thoughts? It came out. You saw the photos. They did their rollout on any given day that they did. How does that grab you, sir?
Okay, I like design-wise. I love it. There's a conversation to be had about the specs, but we'll save that for later. I'll leave that tech side of it to you. But first of all, the faceplate alone and the progress bar LED light, it is a genius thing. Something that I do not understand why Xbox didn't think of.
I mean, they did in the 360 gen.
Yeah, well, we are in the year of our Lord 2025, right? Like
true.
That idea would have just been perfect for the. Do you know how much money they're gonna make off of faceplates alone?
Yeah,
I just bet like D-Brand saw this and was like, good.
Oh, you didn't see what D-Brand did? You didn't see what D-Brand did?
No, I did. The Cube Companion.
Yes, man. The I was like, y'all knew exactly what you're doing.
I feel like the faceplate is the most interesting thing about this for me personally. Okay, but no, I do love this idea, because that I've been preaching this idea of, you damn right I am. And they've given out the CAD files so that you can like your own. And I got the 3D printer back there. If you see, I want to go to town with this thing. But just overall, like console and PC have been converging like at an exponential rate ever since 2013, when the consoles both decided to go x86, right? Because at that point, we moved away from this time where developers had to make a completely separate version for PC and then one for the consoles. Now they're making like one version and just profiling it for each platform. This is all effectively the same architecture. And ever since then, what we've seen is consoles kind of stay at the levels they've always been in terms of sales, right? I think the PlayStation 5 is like 2 million behind where the PlayStation 4 was at this stage in the life cycle, which is decent because they haven't lowered prices. In fact, they've raised them. We don't know where the Xbox was at this time in the life cycle, but we're at that kind of 2-to-1 ratio that we still were, but it's the same amount of people, right? But what has been growing is PC, right? So now,
ladies and gentlemen,
there's a finger.
Paris Lily.
Mr. Lily, what's happening, sir?
Good morning, gentlemen. I want you to finish your point, Everborn, because you are the person I thought of when this got announced. That's
My
why
man.
Yeah. Let the CEG go.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Anytime there's a Sonic announcement and anything CEG related, that's what. But I love it though. I love being thought about for the things that I love versus the things that I hate. Some people are known for what they hate. But anyway, so the thing is, like, this idea, and Kay, we've done that podcast where we made our own Steam box because we were tired of waiting on this thing.
Yep,
and
the whole thing.
The idea that this is a thing that could exist in the living room is like I am amazed by this, and not only by this device alone, because I think that this device is going to spur an onslaught of gaming focused mini PCs, right?
Speaking of onslaughts, shout out to the great Dr. Dryrob, who's throwing game codes in the chat. He's just sprinkling the chat with all the amazing game codes. Shout out to you.
Yeah, you better get those quick, and yes. Make sure you give a shout out to Dr. Dryrub if you're able to.
So
get
many codes. Now, that's awesome, bro. Shout out to you. Go ahead.
Let me land this plane, which is, so what we've seen is the consoles. I'm not saying they're doing bad, but they're doing the same thing they've been doing at this stage in the life cycle. Yeah, but what has been growing is PC in these last 5 years, right? Every game has to come to PC, right? Every third-party game comes to PC. Sony's now even porting that one I want to take for myself. If you don't have that game processors, that's another one that was going to be on my wish list right now. You better grab that quickly. It is a very good Metroidvania style game. Combat combos, crazy. Make sure you whoever that is, because if you don't, I'll get it myself. But anyway, what we've seen grow exponentially is PC and Steam, right? Specifically, look at the concurrent numbers. If you can go back to 2020, what their max concurrent was, it was something like 20 million. Right? This is not monthly active users. These are users that are online at one time. Now they're up to 41 or 42 million people playing at any given time simultaneously on Steam. Now, we've got the Steam Deck that came out, did great things, spurred a bunch of interest in the PC handheld space. Now you saw Lenovo's, Asus, whoever's jump in. I think you're going to see the same thing. And I think this, with a console-like user experience in the living room that gives people a taste of the potential of PC, is going to be the biggest Trojan horse and gateway drug. This isn't about, is it going to eat Xboxes or PlayStation's lunch? What it is about is keeping those people that were engaged on PC and then engaged on the Steam Deck now engaged in the living room and keeping them within that ecosystem. I love it, and I love what it is going to spur. And the last thing I'll say, which we'll come back to later, people keep thinking this somehow hurts Xbox. This actually helps them, because it helps them sell the idea in a way that people were very mistrustworthy, maybe for good reason, of Xbox when they tell you they want to put a PC in the living room. When Valve tells you that, people are on board. And now once the market is sold on that idea of a PC in the living room and the freedom that it can bring with the ease of use they're offering, that's half the job for Microsoft. So I would imagine this rising tide raises all boats. But I got more to say, but I'll go on forever.
Mr. Lilly, what are your thoughts, sir? Yeah.
So, I mean, Everborn hits on a lot of my thinking on this. So I'll take it back this way. When, I may or may not have heard a few days early that this was going down, I went and watched a Gabe Newell video in 2015 at GDC. And this is when the original Steam Machine was just starting to come out, and he was talking about it. And it was a fascinating conversation because he essentially laid out, they were just way too early. They were too early 10 years ago. SteamOS was not ready yet. Proton was not ready yet. The approach of having it go to multiple vendors all at once just didn't work, right? But they took those 10 years to get Proton right, to essentially get the translation layer correct from Linux to Windows. Obviously, the UI that they have with Big Picture Mode, it went through various iterations over the time. They've learned a lot about the original Steam controller and what they could iterate on that and fix. If you think about the Steam Deck is the baseline for handheld PC gaming, right? Everything, you will always compare every handheld to the Steam Deck, whether it's better, whether it's worse, but it is the baseline. And I think what we're seeing now with this Steam machine, it again will be the baseline for bringing PC gaming to your living room, for simplifying that experience. It's what we were talking about it at Gamescom. I press the button, I'm playing the games. I don't have to tinker. If I want to tinker, I can, but I don't have to, because it is going to give me that big picture mode. My games are going to be there. I can install them, the updates, everything happens within that UI. It's simplified. It's going to be great. And I'm sure we'll get into specs and performance down the road. But the Xbox component of this, I'm a yes and a no with what you're saying, Everborn. Yes, this will prove the concept of what they're trying to do with a hybrid device that sits in your living room. The problem is SteamOS, because Windows, as I'm sure you've tinkered and you've seen now with the Ally X, still got a lot of work to do. And they got time, obviously, to get it right. But that again will be the comparison. I don't want the bloat of Windows. I want a simplified experience that I go into the Xbox full screen experience. I'm accessing my games. I'm integrating the other digital stores in. It just works. I'm never having to leave that experience. So yes, the potential is there 100% for Xbox to be able to take advantage of this, but they can't rest on their laurels, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They need to see what Steam is going to deliver here in early 2026, use that as a baseline on this is what Windows needs to be by the time we get to holiday 2027 or whenever they start putting out their next gen experience. So I'm excited for it personally, because I just look at it as, you know, I have a gaming PC, I got the consoles and I got all that, but the potential of taking this device and sticking it in my living room and not only natively play games off of it.
Paris, you sound a little bit like you're in the shadow realm. Is it just
really?
me?
No, I hear you. I hear you well.
Oh no, it might be me, because now Kay, you sound like that. It might be my connection.
No,
that's
me
a
Paris,
you thing.
me and Paris are good. Sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna dip out and come right back, see what's going on.
Sure.
No worries.
Sure.
No worries. Yep.
No, but all I was going to wrap up and say, and then I'll give it to UK, is not only and again, we'll talk about performance and all that in a second, I'm sure, when Everborn comes back, but I'll natively be able to play games on this. But also the fact that Steam, again, has worked on Steam Link over the past 10 years. So remote play from my gaming PC to this device is going to be seamless. And if I want to play Cyberpunk with all the bells and whistles enabled and high frames in my living room, I will now be able to do that easily, streaming from my PC that's in my office. And then obviously, I'm sure we'll get into Steam Frame and VR aspects and all that comes with this too. But I am happy that Valve exists, because Valve is a private company. They do what they want. So it absolutely influences what these other companies are doing. It will influence what Xbox is going to do. It will influence what PlayStation potentially could do. So yeah, I'm glad this exists. It'll obviously all come down to price, how much it's going to cost. I have my theories on it, but yeah, I'm a day one. I hope they have a bundle where I can get the frame, the machine, and the controller in a bundle, and maybe save a couple $100 doing it that way, because I'm getting it. I'm throwing my wallet right at this as soon as pre-orders go.
Understood. Okay. I'm with you. I'm also day one, but I'm different reasons. I like it as well. I've been worshiping at the altar of Gabe hardware for a long time. I still have Valve Index that I still think is a really, really great device even today. And you know, we'll get into the Steam Frame and all that stuff too. But by and large, I agree with both yourself and Everborn Saga in that even though this environment has existed, you know, for a while now, it takes a company of Valve's skill set and their capabilities to be able to bring something out that becomes the benchmark that others can follow. Right before then, you know, we've had mini PCs for a long time, but it's been very disparate. It's been very hodgepodge DIY environment. This brings us to a place where even beyond this place, I don't foresee a world after this where your Asus and your Lenovo's and all that don't make a similar competitor. right? That like everyone will be shooting their shot against the little Gabe cube, as it were. So I think to that point, that is exactly spot on. They're creating they're establishing a new norm, right? They're creating a new threshold that everybody else will have to adhere to, or basically shoot their shot against, right? So I like that. Now I have a poll in the chat. Gabe cube, you buying one? The options are day one, nah, and depends on the price. Now, while you in the chat like answer those questions and be a part of it, let us move towards more detailed information about this thing. Everborn Saga, you wanted to jump in?
Yeah, sorry, I had to do a whole restart of the machine.
Please, it's all
so
good.
Hopefully
it's all
it's
good.
better now. Now I'm at the very least getting one, just like for science, right? Because you know how we do, right? The price is going to determine whether I get multiple, because this is the kind of thing I just want one in every room, right?
Yeah.
Now, Paris, to what I was the reason I believe this does more good than harm to whatever Xbox is doing is one, because Steam can't possibly fill the entire market, right? So what happens is like the Steam Deck exists, right? But even as much as everyone loves the Steam Deck, like Linux is only 3% of of Steam's base, right? Like we can't escape those numbers, right? And what Microsoft is going to offer is something that is more powerful, has access to Game Pass, and actually has access to all of your Steam library. Because as much as they say play all your games, this actually doesn't have access to all of your games. Because what if you like to play Call of Duty through Steam?
Right, anti-cheat, yeah.
Right. So I do think that there's a place for both of these. But I think that Valve is much better at messaging and look, they're partners. In the same way, it would be a non-starter for Microsoft to try to jump into the PC space and not include Steam. It is almost a non-starter for Steam. Even Steam OS is running Windows games. They just have to do it through a translation layer. Like these two companies need each other. And so I think that the position for Microsoft, if they're going to have a more premium, more powerful thing than this, that, has access to all your Steam games, plus the things that they're offering. And if they sort out the backwards compatibility thing, that's a compelling offer. And I don't think Microsoft would have been good at selling people a PC in the living room. And the reason I know that, and I know you know this, Paris, is because look at the reaction to the Xbox Ally. Right? They would not, and I'm not saying that was a perfect device, but the very idea of Valve leaning into it being a PC, that's the thing that everyone held against the Xbox Ally and whatever the rumors are about the strategy in the way that Xbox is going. So I think that Valve can get the mind share for this hardware agnostic ecosystem that doesn't rely on exclusives, right? And Microsoft can also benefit from that. So you think of it this way: when the MCU was doing well, DC could put out a movie and it make $800 million, right? That doesn't happen now because of where the entire market's mind is towards these superhero movies. And I just think mind share is half the battle. And then you got to deliver, as you said. They got work to do on the UI side. But I think if they can sort the UI and people are comfortable with this idea, both Steam and Microsoft will do really well in this world.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything you're saying on that. Let me know when you want to jump into performance, because I've even seen some things in chat. So I do have some perspective on that.
Let's do that.
Okay. Hey, I want you. This is your time now. I was the CEG guy. You're the tech guy. Go in.
So this is more about, and I hear people in the chat going, "Who is this for?" And if you, I see the great Infinite Umbra saying, "Hey, if you have a powerful PC, this is not for you." All of that, right? So, who is this for, and where it's placed as far as price to performance in the position it's in, right? When I initially saw this device, and you see it writ large right on the screen, initial like speeds and feeds of it. I was taken aback a little bit, and I'll be honest with you, I was a little disappointed because where we live and where we and by we I mean us folks who we consider ourselves enthusiasts. This is about 3-4 years ago, like really, like that's when a hardware profile of this really shined, right? We've moved beyond this hardware profile, right? So at initial glance, and you can see that writ large, basically on with the 8 gigs of VRAM and all of that, right? We've moved beyond, by and large, right? If you're an enthusiast. So when I first saw this, my first impression was, oh, I wish they had put a bit more in the tank, right? But once you start listening to what they're saying and you start reading what they've actually connected, like things like the idea that you're not using an APU here, which basically all these mobile first machines.
Hey, do you think they should have used an APU? Because I feel like you could have used shared memory if they did that.
The tail of the tape has not been told yet. So because there's a plus to them not using an APU, right? There is a plus, and I will get into what the plus is.
Like, is this more powerful than Strix Halo?
Absolutely not. This is not more powerful than Strix Halo. Absolutely.
It's going to be cheaper, but yeah.
It will be considerably cheaper than Strix Halo, which is like $2,000 basically at this point, right? Any hardware, whether you're talking mini PC or handheld or laptop, you're talking a $2,000 thing if it's kind of.
Well, I would say 1,500 because the ones that are 2,000 have ridiculous amounts of memory and running AI workloads, sure. Like 128 gigs of RAM. Like you don't need that for this. So,
but needless to say. So to address the question you asked about should they have gone the APU route, the plus of this is you as a consumer, if you want one of these things, you don't need to buy any tier except the lowest tier, because the ones that are the components that matter are actually interchangeable, and you can do so. So because they chose not to go the APU route where everything is soldered on the board, you can replace your SODIMMs yourself. You can replace your storage yourself. So
but you can't update the VRAM, which is, you know. But
you can't update the VRAM. True, but even if you could update the VRAM, this is faster dedicated VRAM versus the standard RAM that would then be shared across. We don't know the ramifications of that when we see it writ large, because there is obviously a tail of the tape when it comes to how much RAM you have versus how fast the RAM is. This is dedicated DDR6 VRAM versus the standard RAM that would have been split between the operating systems, right? And of course, this is also not reflecting Windows performance. This is reflecting SteamOS performance. So we can't like really use our historical reference points and say, okay, this should have been better. I agree with you that more RAM is better in general, right? But if you look at the Steam survey, and shout out to the great Floodzilla, a great member of our Discord community, the tail of the tape is told right there. Like if you look at that Steam survey, they literally hit the benchmarks that every standard average Steam user.
Yeah, I saw something that they were saying this actually performs better than 70% of the PCs that are on Steam now, based on that survey. 70% of the people on Steam, this is better than what
there you go. Have. That's right. So even though for enthusiast eyes, you'd be a little disappointed here and there, this is not meant for that. Just like Steam Deck was not meant for tip of the spear. When the Steam Deck came out, 7840Us were still a thing. 6840Us were still a thing, which themselves performed far better because those 68 and 7840Us were hitting 30 watt TDPs, where Steam Deck came at 18, right? But still, what did Steam Deck do? It shot above its weight. It set a benchmark, and now even though there are different devices in different categories, that Steam Deck has a place that people aspire to.
And you had developers targeting it. You had developers doing work to make sure it ran well there. And I think that's another thing that really excites me about this is if this does well, developers will target it, and that will have benefits for whatever you're running.
So let's keep it a buck, because the great slow-mo backslap is in the house, and he says, no, we do know how 8 gigs of VRAM will perform. We have seen 8 gigs of VRAM cards run and crash on RE4 Remake. Great point, sir, because that brings me to another point I wanted to make.
Is that on the devs though, or
hold on? Let me get the point out here. It's true that you've seen a lot of information about this thing since it's come out, right? You've seen PC Gamer. I actually watched PC Gamer's one this morning. Very cool, very interesting. They dropped a lot of very interesting nuggets of information on PC Gamer's coverage. But you've seen IGN, you've seen a bunch of different coverage, and they show you lots of different games. But when you go to the official Valve page and you see what they're showing you running on this, what did they show you? Cuphead. What do they show you? They show you Stardew Valley. They don't show you RE4 Remake. They don't show you Cyberpunk, right? Because all those can play, but that's not what this is for. That's not what this hardware profile is for, right? If you're a person who plays games and 8 gigs of VRAM is already like an eye raiser for you, this is not for you. Because just like, and if we think about it, like how long ago did Stardew Valley release, right? How long did Spelunky release? And those games, if you are a Steam gamer, those games still thrive on Steam. And so do Vampire Survivor and Silk Song, Cleaning Up, and all these other very small indie focused, like style over like graphic substance games, right? And in that world, this thing will live for years and years and years because on Steam, those games thrive. So it's not necessarily for us, those who are about the main speeds and feeds, because let's be clear, I think it will play those games as well, but that's not what the primary need for this device is trying to fulfill. I'm sorry, you guys were trying to jump in.
No, but see, that's what you're saying is the point of this. And it goes back to what I was saying when I initially started talking. This is a baseline. This is a device to essentially a proof of concept to show you what can be. Let's remember, this will not be the only Steam machine because guess who else is going to make one? Lenovo is going to make one. Yeah. Asus is going to make one. You're going to have different performance levels and prices that are based off of the same concept. Obviously, there's going to be Windows variants, Steam OS variants, etc. So for people that need something that, to your point, can play RE4 without crashing because it has more VRAM or
Cyberpunk, be a different device for you.
With Path, there's going to be another device. And the whole point is it's going to cost you more because and we'll see what the pricing ultimately lands at. But this is the floor catered. Yes, thank you.
This is the floor.
That's the whole point I'm trying to make. And let me say this. Let me say this while I'm talking. So I may or may not know someone who has been playing on the Steam machine and gave me a little bit of insight to it. This, depending on the game, is essentially a PS5, Xbox Series X, and at other games is just below that. But I know some people are like, oh, this is a Series S. It's more powerful than the Series S, right?
Yeah.
So when I think pricing, it's going to be around that range. And that's the kind of performance you can mostly expect for games on this thing. So like I said, I'm excited.
Hold on now, sir. You said when it comes to pricing, you can expect around that range. Now, are we talking that range today or that range when it first was released? Because it's different world as to where those consoles came when they were first released versus where they are today.
Let me jump into my conspiracy theory then. So we unfortunately are in a world now where tariffs are a thing. We obviously know the RAM prices right now are out of control. I think that does play into the fact that Valve has not attached a price to this. I think, because it's what I initially said when I was on Kind of Funny, my first thought was $499. But
that was my first thought too. Yep.
There's other factors into this. So now I'm thinking, and this is the base model, the 512 gigabyte model. I'm thinking $599 seems around the price this should be. Anything higher than that, I think you got to start giving it some side eye, considering the performance that you will get out of this, because now we're creeping into PS5 Pro pricing, which this is not a PlayStation 5 Pro. So I think you need to be under that. I can't see the 512 model being $700. I think $599 is its ceiling. I think if we really get lucky, it's below that. Like if this thing is $499, it's flying off the shelves, I think.
So
I think it's gonna really quick, Kay. I think it's going to fly off the digital shelves anyway because it won't be on shelves in Walmart and Target.
Valve's going to sell it. Yeah.
And I don't like the volume that they're going to make these things in. I think they have enough of a baseline of core like Steam Deck fans to where no matter what it costs, they're going to sell out whatever their initial things are. That said, If we, and again, Valve did say it's going to be entry level PC prices. And my thinking
Not
was $599. Right. They didn't say console prices, right? But
they say it's competitive to PCs, not console.
But if you can get a good mini PC for $599, I'm just saying. But here's the question: controller or no controller at the price you're thinking?
Yeah, Paris, controller or no controller?
I don't think it comes with the controller.
I too don't think it comes with
okay, if it is $599, there's no chance
because you will have the ability to use an existing controller.
Yes,
so I think yeah.
Yeah, I'm not super interested in the controller just because it is not offset sticks. So I'm gonna use this with an Xbox controller. But yeah, I am wishfully estimating $599 with no controller. But it very well could get into the $699, $799.
But that's where I think bundles come into it as well. I can see there being a bundle with the controller where, they knock a little bit of the price off of the controller because you're getting it with the Steam machine. So it would be more than $599. And then obviously the whole kit and caboodle with the frame, I think that could happen as well. But one other point before I forget, when we talk about performance and what people are expecting, as an example, the Steam Deck, which we know is extreme, the value cost to that. If you get the baseline Steam Deck, what is it, $350 or something right now? Crazy like that.
At this point, yeah, it's really low. Yeah.
And I said it during the review with the Xbox Ally, I still prefer the Steam Deck. And I know performance-wise, it is not as powerful as the other one, but it plays my games just fine. And it's my preference because of the UI. So I think that factors into it as well when you translate that over to the Steam machine. Sure, it may not be the biggest performance, but if it gets the job done and it's an ease of use experience that sits under your TV at a reasonable cost, I think there's consumer value there.
So Paris, one thing, and we were having this, it gets pedantic, right? But one thing we were having a discussion about like the full screen experience is I think a lot of people conflate the full screen experience with the Xbox app / launcher itself. And so I was saying the issue that Xbox has is that the Xbox app needs a lot of work, but the full screen experience is great. And what I do, I'll show you right now. This is unprompted, right? If this thing's gonna read my fingerprint, where do we go when we turn this thing on? Right? I don't have anything else running but big picture mode. So to me, this is kind of a super powered Steam Deck without any of the compatibility issues. And so I just think that for me, I gear towards Windows full screen experience with big picture mode. And I think that is for my taste, it's a winning combination. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just because what I do is as soon as I turn this on, I X out of the Xbox app and go into the Steam app.
Yeah. To be clear,
but that's not really what they want you to do, though, right?
That is not my problem. What I want them to do is give me the console UI, and they didn't do it. So
no, but that's the point I was bringing up. They're headed down the right road with it. I'm a fan of what Xbox is doing with this full screen experience in the app and curating it with Windows. Here's my long game assumption on this. When we get the true next generation Xbox, it will be running Windows 12. And a lot of the things that they're doing gaming wise that we're seeing now on Windows 11 will be built from the ground up as a part of Windows 12.
Right, it won't feel
and then it's going exactly. And that's where I think we're going with this. So what we're seeing now is them. Look, let's be honest here. We're beta testing. We're beta testing what the ultimate result is going to be. I will say this. I wasn't going to go to CES this year. I'm going to CES this year. CES is going to be so fun because you're going to see a lot of these companies doing SteamOS and Windows variants of these devices. I think we're going to see a lot of that at CES this year. So I can't wait to see that.
All right. Paris, I'm just going to put this in the air right now because I know you're going to get one of these Steam machines early. Once you get one of those, I need you to put in a
No.
word for me and Asante so we could also get one to review. I'm just putting it out there. Closed mouths don't get fed, so I'm just saying
There
it.
you go. There you go.
Now
That's
it's in
it.
the universe. We can move on from there.
Let's be clear. I did not get a Steam Deck from Valve to review, but I happily gave them my money, and I bought 3 of them over the lifetime, right? I will be spending my own money to get the Steam machine and the Steam frame.
I know you will. I'm talking about you getting it early, sir.
I doubt it. I doubt I will.
All right, we'll see. I don't believe you, but we'll see.
So where did we fall on where we our price assumptions? I need to make.
So I am
with
with Paris.
Okay.
And again, this is wishful because I think Slow-Mo is onto something. So I'm not like discounting what he's saying at the $700 or $800 price. But I think it is possible that they can get it to $599 with no controller.
Yeah.
$600 no controller. Okay.
Same.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that, but I would not be surprised if it's $650 or more because of where we are.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing. Yeah.
But this could also be like one of those things where they didn't announce the price because they know it wasn't going to be $599 and they got to work out how they're going to get it as low as possible. But it's really probably going to be closer to the higher side of it, right? And here's a question, right? We're going to have to acknowledge at some point that we are in a new world and inflation took place in the gaming space, right? We keep saying, I'm not saying us here, I'm just saying in general, the general discourse is, oh my God, how could a PS5 Pro be $750? It's not worth it. Oh my God, how could an Xbox Ally be $600? Oh my God, how could a Legion Go 2 be $1,300 with that OLED screen? Oh my God, how could this thing be more than $599, which I just said? But like everything is higher.
Oh yeah.
And so
painfully
we're using like what prices used to be to say what these things can or can't cost. But the prices are going up right in front of us. And I feel like myself included just don't want to acknowledge that.
Oh yeah. I don't disagree. So that's why my brain keeps having this ludonarrative dissonance thing where it's like, okay, I know what it should be, and then I have to reframe my thinking to where it will be. And
I'm trying to speak $599 into existence is what I'm doing. So I'm sticking with it.
Because my engineering brain will tell me no, but it shouldn't be more than. But then the world we live in is a different conversation. So
yeah, you have to factor in macroeconomics.
The thing that I factor into it is Valve being a private company, and
that's also very big
this is them just giving you more incentive to stay in their store. So maybe, and again, like I said, we're in a different world. I get it, but the hope would be maybe they were able to sell this at cost. Or relatively around cost. I know Moore's Law is dead. Said if you add up the parts that are in this, it was around $425. But then obviously shipping, marketing, like other things that will tack onto that
packaging.
So that's where I come at $599. I feel that's reasonable in today's world to sell a device like this at that. But to your point, Kay, if it's $650, I'm not shocked. I don't want it to be, but I'm not shocked.
I don't want it to be. But Valve also tends to be ones that when they release, to your point, because they are in that like unique position of not being publicly traded and all that, they do what they want and nobody can get them off their square.
Exactly.
Like even the deck, they basically sold the low grade deck at cost. The 64 gig deck was like they were making no money on that, and they said so. But they didn't care because hey, it's another way of getting you into their store as long as
there's a psychology in pricing where you have a like get them in the door price, but what they end up buying is the other thing. So for example, right, we all talked about initially when the PS5 came out, the all digital was $399, so they got to advertise that price. But most of what people bought was the disc version,
was the bigger guy,
right? Then we saw it again with the Xbox Ally, right? They underestimated how many people would want the $1,000 device, and now that's in high demand, low supply. Whereas you can't throw a rock without hitting the $599 one, right? So I think there's a similar thing here where you want to have something that you can advertise as the lower price, but then what people will ultimately buy is the sort of the higher end version. So
But
maybe
I
they'll
will
end
say,
up
though,
buying one with the controller or whatever.
I will say though, take my advice for it. If there is an option for the lowest version, always buy that, because in this specific instance, specifically for the machine, you can upgrade the RAM and the storage yourself, and you'll most likely get a good deal on that RAM and storage versus what.
Well, yeah,
the
one
version is the way to go in this instance.
One other thing I want to say about this, when we're estimating these prices, there's 3 factors that we have to take into account. And one is obviously the sort of political tariff situation. That is a factor. It is not the only factor, but it is a factor, right? Then you have to consider AMD's been doing a little bit of price gouging lately.
Oh yeah,
right. So you're going to AMD, they're going to charge you. And then I don't know if you guys are paying attention to this. Kay, I know you are, but I don't know if the chat is. RAM prices are skyrocketing right now.
Oh yeah.
Like these prices are raising faster than the rate that gold is raising for right. So the between what's going on with RAM prices, between what's going on with tariffs or whatever, and between what's going on with what AMD's charging these days, all of those things are factoring in, making these things uncomfortable for the vast majority, anybody trying to sell some hardware.
Yep. So okay, let's chat real briefly, because I know like people aren't as excited about it, but let's chat briefly about the controller. You said you might not get one of those, Mr. Everborn Saga?
Yeah, I don't like. I might get one again, like as a bundle for science, but like I don't envision myself using it because I need offset sticks, and so I'll have it just for it to be there. I also don't like the way it looks. I'm sure it's like
yes. I watched some of the videos. I think Gamers Nexus chatted with them about it a bit in detail about what decisions they made. And if you really look at it from the console, Xbox, PlayStation perspective, you will be disappointed. True, but if you look at it from like the Steam Deck perspective, it makes a lot of sense. Like,
what does the puck do exactly?
So the puck is very interesting design. The puck allows you to connect to it while you're gaming and remotely charge it at the same time, or you can push it back and it remotely connects to it, low latency, and connect to other devices of other controllers of its kind. So I think up to 4 devices can connect to one puck at the same time, so you can really like have like a multiplayer local game off of one puck. Right? And it also is able to quickly charge when you need it to charge. It's very it doubles. Yeah, it's a wireless receiver, as Slow-Mo was saying there. Very interesting ideas that have been put in this thing. Right. Okay. So if you look at it and cut it in half and put a screen in the middle, makes perfect sense. Right.
So the other advantage of that is you plug, like on the Steam machine, you can use that to plug in. It'll instantly sync to the Steam machine, and then you no longer need it because the Steam machine has a separate wireless receiver built in outside of the Bluetooth.
Has another puck of those built into it that will then keep communicating. Yeah.
And you can as I understand it, like take the puck, put it on your PC, and then just go over there.
And it'll be synced to both at the same time.
Yeah. Now, one thing before you move on, because Kay, I know you want to talk about the frame.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about the controller.
Yeah. Okay. Well, after we're done with the controller, just so we don't forget, I want to talk about, especially with Paris here, what, if any, effect do we think this has on the traditional console space? But we'll come back to that. Kay, continue with your controller talk.
Sure. So I just want to know. Like, I know that this thing is not exciting for everybody. I get that, but what I found that is interesting in here, seeing what they're doing, is it bridges the gap for a lot of those games that were mainly PC games, right? Made for PC games. It's that same mindset that they did with the initial Steam controller, which a lot of people didn't like because it only had one thumbstick. Now they fixed that, but a lot of that stuff is still with the Steam with like playing RTS and playing other games that historically haven't been controller friendly in mind. And if you put that in your mind and you look at it, it is very functional and very useful. I agree with you. It's fugly. The reason for making it offset is because since it doesn't have a huge device that you're holding like a deck, your fingers then your thumbs naturally meet in the middle, they say. So that's why it kind of looks like an inline stick with a dude whose eyes are crossed. It doesn't look great. I agree with you, but by and large, from a usability perspective and capabilities perspective, it's very, very interesting. They actually have capacitive, like it recognizes your touch and is able to initiate gyros based on how you grip it. So it gives you like a little bit more range of motion if you're using it for FPSs and things like that. And even games that historically have been using mice. It's very, very, very intuitive in the way they've made it. And of course, depending on the price point, $60-$80. I wouldn't think 60, 80 probably to 100 right there. It would be
more.
Yeah, you think it's more? About 50?
I think they're gonna go with Elite controller.
I think it's over 100. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, it also does connect directly to the frame, and it has like connection points to the frame as well. So I do see that they've added a lot of tech in there as well. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope it doesn't go over $150 because that would be a little too
okay. Much. Here, let me just put this out there. Now, I know, again, I'm saying $599 because that's what I want it to be more than what I think it's going to be. So I have to keep saying that. But that bundle, right? Think about this. Steam Machine, 2 terabyte edition. Controller.
Okay. Controller, yeah. And Steam frame.
$999.
No.
Listen, hold on. Chat, tell me if I'm right if they won't do this. 2 terabyte. This is going to be the bundle.
The 2 terabyte and just the controller?
No, Steam all frame. Yes. No. That's it.
That is way too cheap.
2 terabyte Steam Machine and controller. No. I'm not talking about the frame. Get the frame out of here. I'm just saying the 2 terabyte is going to be the one in the bundle. They're not going to have the 512 with the controller.
Sure. Okay, so
I'm just saying the 2 terabyte
will be $1,000.
I think that's too much still.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, here's why. Well, again, I haven't even given my opinion on controller yet. I will in a second. But I think the 2 terabyte, if let's say it's $599, then I think the 2 terabyte is probably $750. Is that crazy?
Yeah, it could be. I think they might do a two. Because here's the thing, if
or let's say 8, even if it's 8, let's just say 8 to round it off. Let's say it's 8 for the 2 terabyte, right? If we're bundling and doing some kind of discount, then I'm thinking $899.
Yeah,
with the controller,
$900 with the controller.
Yeah,
could be, but knowing the way. So somebody in the chat is saying, 2 terabyte will be $799.
And Slow-Mo saying that he's seen some YouTubers say that he spoke to Valve and the controllers will not be included. There will be a bundle with it included.
Yeah, Valve did say there would be a bundle. They specifically,
they did
one with and one without because options.
When they were talking to, they said that they.
And I just hope they do one with the frame so I can just buy it all at once and be good.
Yeah, I want a whole situation. I want 1, 2, 3, all of them. Harris, what's your thought writ large on the controller? You getting one? What do you feel about it?
Yeah, so I'm gonna frame it this way because I'm gonna throw some slander at Infinite Umbra because I see he's saying the controller doesn't look like something I'd want to invest in being real. Well, guess what, Infinite Umbra? I will be getting the controller because it is something I want because I had the original Steam controller and I used to use it to play Civilization. And it worked. I understood what they were doing. I loved how you could customize it in various things. Obviously, it did not have mass appeal. I get it. I will say again, they took lessons learned. The Steam Deck is it's the Steam Deck controller. That's what you're about to have in your hands. So I want to see how that plays out. So I will absolutely be getting one and I will most likely use it. And if I don't like it, thankfully, I can flip over to an Xbox controller or to a DualSense. But it is something I want and I want to try and use and see how I can customize it and what I can do with it. So I'm looking forward to it. And Infinite Umbra, I will also say, you said I was getting an invite to your show and it's November and I still don't have it. So that is on you, my friend, because I said I'd be there, but you don't want to invite me to nothing.
Slander. I'm just saying. Look at that. Slander.
Well, he's having episode 200 come up soon. Or 100.
I know, and that's what he said. You think he get your boy a heads up and let me know when I need to be there, but he still ain't said nothing.
Look at all the slander.
Look at it this week, last minute. Look at it. He's doing it last minute instead of giving me a heads up. I see how you do.
All right. Well, all right.
G476 asks, can somebody tell me why anyone would opt for the 2 terabyte if a micro SD card already? So
What's
SD
the
cards
speeds,
would not
though?
be as
Because I don't
fast.
know if it's micro SD Express.
SD cards would not be as fast, and I agree with you that nobody really would opt for the 2 terabyte, considering the fact that it's very easy to like put on your own 2 terabyte. Or
Funny, because I was actually aiming for the 2 terabyte version, but yeah,
like it's very easy to do that yourself and save a couple bucks. But of course, there are always Everborn pay pigs out there who just want to. Oh, I want the 2 terabyte. I don't want to unscrew things. And
no, I mean the secondary ones, I'll get the 512s, right? But
Yeah,
like the main one
I'm
that
just being ridiculous. I'm being ridiculous.
It depends on what the bundling pricing looks like.
If it makes me with 2 terabyte, yeah.
If it makes more sense for me to just buy the 512 standalone, then yeah, I'll just upgrade it myself. Because like you said, I'm sure I'll save money doing it that way. But we'll see with the bundling what that looks like.
Let me ask a tech question.
Go ahead.
So they said that yes, you can upgrade the SODIMM memory, but if that's just going to be for the operating system, Linux don't need that much memory. So is there any real reason to upgrade the SODIMM?
Yes. Look, the VRAM is not the only thing you need. Like without VRAM, the system won't work. Like yes, VRAM helps with like all those other things.
Oh, right? The VRAM, but you can't upgrade the VRAM. We're talking about
it's not just the VRAM that matters for game performance and for system performance, right? The more RAM in general you have, the more overhead and stability you have. Now, I know we're talking about Linux, and Linux handles things a little differently, but emulation, a lot of that stuff. There are a lot of things that don't touch VRAM at all, that still just use your general RAM because it's not meant for, it's not using that VRAM in that way. So having more RAM in general in your system is just more performant.
Will you be
upgrading? By the way, you can install Windows on this thing if you so choose. And then you need more RAM because it's, overhead. You can dual boot if you so choose. This thing is a PC. So, there are reasons.
And this is where I say again, I'm of the mind, let's see what Windows 12 looks like. Because to me, whatever their future gaming initiative is going to be, as Windows being the best place to play, it's Windows 12. It's not going to be Windows 11.
And the Floodzilla asked the pertinent question: why are you even asking that question?
I was complimenting Linux and how it handles memory and all of this, and I can't even do that before getting his feelings about Linux.
All right. Well, let's take a quick pause, and I want to catch up on a few super chats, and then we'll talk about that Steam frame.
We got to talk about the effects of that this is going to have on the traditional under the TV market.
We'll end our Steam convo with that. That'll be the final question. How about that? All right, because I feel like that will open the door to lots of broader conversations. But let's quick. It's only a couple of them. So first and foremost, the great Jez Corden joined us and also provided 10 memberships. Thank you, Jez. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much for being here. And Gamsley joined us with a 5 Canadian. He says the best on the interwebs. Well, we appreciate you, sir. He's a great member of our community. He then also jumps in with a 20 Canadian, says Gigasword. I guess he's providing a code. He's providing some funds for Gigasword. Thank you, sir. We will put that to use. And by the way, there will be a Gigasword giveaway before the end of this show, so keep that in mind. Thank you again, Gamsley.
Really good game. Paris, if you don't know about this game, I need you to check this out. It's old school Nintendo style. Yeah, it's very good.
He then doubles down and then also gives a 10 memberships for the channel. So thank you so much again, Gamsley. And then, of course, BKNY, Face BKNY, $20 super chat. He says, when it comes to selling systems, power doesn't matter. And by the time the next Xbox hybrid comes out, Game Pass will be $40.
And how much will PC Game Pass be? Face.
Yeah, probably the same exact price it currently is, which will make a lot of people salty. It is what it is. Andy Hart, 6138 with a £5, I think it's €5 super chat. Thank you so much for being here. He says, for me, it's an ideal companion to my Steam Deck, and will definitely get one of the small form factors and emulation. I'm with you, sir. I think emulation on this thing will be unusually good.
That is another point. Like to get this, put it under the TV, get MU Deck on there, and just have it be a retro emulation station. Like
absolutely.
That in and of itself makes it worth the price.
But again, the price will be the matter, right? You're not buying an emulation station for $1,000, but it depends on where the price falls, right? So we shall see, right? BT Maverick 707 $5 super chat. He says, "We will be able to use the Steam. Will we be able to use the Steam Frame USB dongle as a better Steam Link since the current version is terrible without the Moonlight Erotimus?" Ooh, that's a very interesting question. So far that dongle, the foveated streaming, which we'll get into, it seems like it's very single focused for this purpose. But the idea of using that spectrum to use that for more purposes, just to be able to have a dedicated connection and better Moonlight connection, that's an interesting idea. I would say reach out to me in the background. Moonlight can really get very nice, if you tweak it a little bit better. I know that Steam Link doesn't give you that many options to do so, but I think they just kind of moved off of that software in favor of something like this. You know what I mean? But shout out to you. That's an interesting idea. Soul Tech, the great Soul Tech with $5 super chat. He says Brokeback Saga. Charlie missing last week, and Gamsley terrible opinions. Please hit the like button and subscribe. Wow. That is some horrible slander, sir, but I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And then the Infinite Umbra, who's been a member for 19 months, he's here and he says, a pre-show announcement. I will have all of these gentlemen in Paris on the fix this
Sure
Thursday.
about that?
I want everybody here to come and support. Salute to the great Infinite Umbra. We will be there. Hopefully so will Paris. But all right. Thank y'all so much for being here and all the super chats and your continued support. If you haven't hit the like button, please think about it. But anyway, let's get back to it. How about the Steam Frame? I know, Mr. Lilly, you are about that the headsets and the VR. You are one of the few who I know owns the Apple Vision Pro. Which, by the way, how often do you use that thing?
I use it every time I'm on a plane.
Okay, so it's
and I'm on a plane, and I'm on a plane a lot.
Okay.
I don't use. Okay, so let's backtrack for a sec. So I got it originally when it came out. I don't have the new M5 version, and I would say I'm using it like once a week. It is the best 4K 3D player out. Like watching
there's a
something
new
in
version
3D.
of the Apple whatever.
Yeah, they updated the chip to M5. Yeah,
I did not know that.
All the same issues people had, they are still the same. They just put M5 chips in it. That's it.
It's essentially a movie player for me. I don't use it for any kind of productivity, even though you can. It's gotten vastly better, over the past year with updates and everything now on whatever Vision OS 26 or whatever it's called. But ironically enough, I went from not having anything VR a couple years ago to I have everything now. I got the MetaQuest 3, Vision Pro, I got the PS VR 2, and all this originally started before the pandemic. I was going to get the Index, and then the pandemic happened and I waited. So now that we got the frame, I'm going to get that. I see what they're doing with it. You were just talking about that dongle that's just going to improve, streaming, basically the PC link, streaming from games from PC over to that device. That is probably its biggest selling point for me, because I had played Half-Life Alyx on the MetaQuest 3. The visuals aren't the greatest. This is obviously saying that it's going to vastly improve that. Not to mention, they are still trying to figure out to get it to play standalone on the frame as well. So I'm curious about that too.
That's the part that I'm excited about. That standalone play, we'll dig into that, because I've been kind of playing on the edges of that a little bit. So seeing Steam do what they're doing here is like, this is next gen exciting stuff from a technical perspective. It's really, really interesting stuff. They're kind of like, with this move, they're kind of becoming the translator company, right? They're translating anything to anything else. It doesn't matter, right? Oh, you want to play it on ARM? You want to play it on x86? You want to play it on Windows? You want to play it? Doesn't matter. They're translating from everywhere to everywhere else. The
only bummer with this is, I have a few different games that I've been playing on the MetaQuest 3. It sounds like it's not going to translate over to that at all. So that will be a completely separate ecosystem to things that are on there, unless they bring those games to Steam.
So there's that, true, but, and there's the retail end user experience, and there's the fact that this thing is ARM based and it basically has the Android substrate. You can literally translate. You can sideload games to it. You can sideload any x86 games to it, including Meta x86 games to it. Right now, It won't be easy. I've gone through some of those things myself for educational purposes. But yes, you can remove meta games as APKs and then load them into someplace else. So I hear you, but it won't be impossible. It'll just probably be a little bit more complicated.
Some tinkering, yeah.
It'll require some tinkering. But that's what the energy is with this device, which I find is just very cool. They've loaded the full SteamOS operating system onto this. Just if you look at it, like a very small, like. The whole PC is just that very thin layer in the front. And the rest of it is just counterbalance and weight and battery to make sure that you're able to have a comfortable experience. I'm sure, I'm going to ask a dumb question here. I'm sure, Paris, you were day one on this thing, aren't you?
Yeah, that's why I said, if they do a bundle where I can just get everything all at once, I'm getting it. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So like, what is this, something like this more for you? Like for me, like a lot of VR games, like I'm on record saying that I kind of hate where VR has gone a little bit. Where to your point, you said you played Alex and it was not the greatest of experience. It's because it wasn't connected to your machine, right? That they had to go through. You had to go through Wi-Fi, compression, all of that.
Yep.
I still believe that the core of the really great experiences in VR are direct connected, or they don't go through general channels. So hopefully this 6 gigahertz spectrum stuff is how we can get back to that.
And that's my hope. And that's my hope on it as well. The fact that not only obviously VR games, and I've done this in MetaQuest 3 already with the Xbox stuff, playing I would say 2D games, but playing flat screen games as well inside the headset, I think would be interesting. Not to mention, now I can have the the Steam controller that'll have better connectivity other than just using Bluetooth on there as well. So I'm just interested as a tinkerer, loving tech, wanting to get this VR hardware, see what its capabilities are going to be. Again, it would be the definitive way for me to finally play Half-Life Alyx, which as we know is the best VR game ever made so far. And look, we'll see whatever this next thing's going to be. Does it have any VR functionality? We'll see. Allegedly, it's going to get announced soon.
What about AR functionality on this thing? Because I didn't hear any of that mentioned.
Let us talk about that, sir. The pass-through on this thing is, by your definition, Mr. Everborn, your requirement, god-awful. It is monochrome camera right now. That's what's in this thing today. It is god-awful. But the plus side of that is it is god-awful, and it's also DIY. So they said, we put this in. This is what we did for it to be able to handle all the tracking that we need. But you can literally remove it and place your DIY, your own high quality cameras to then make pass through turn into a more pleasing experience. So it won't come with the pass through you want, but you can upgrade it yourself to get better pass through. So there's that. I don't know how you feel.
Can I say something to Infinite Umbra just to call him out in the chat? You can't be in the chat talking about how this Steam machine's not for me. It ain't for me. If I had a PC, I don't know what you going to get it for. And then you go in the chat talking about Paris, go half on the Steam machine for me. No. Stick with your high-end gaming PC.
He's got this like ultra wide monitor that's so wide it wraps around his head when he's playing this game.
and I want to be clear. The reason I go at Infinite Umbra all the time, he makes fun of me on Boom Show all the time.
He does. He has one of the best Paris Lily impersonations I think on the internet. It's fantastic. You should if you haven't seen it, you should seek it out. It's fantastic. Anyway, so I think me personally, of all the announcements made, just from a technical perspective, I think the most exciting and most groundbreaking is what we're seeing here with the foveated streaming. So quickly to explain, foveated rendering, if you may know, it uses eye tracking to look at where you're seeing the action, and that's where it puts the most rendering resources, and then all the stuff around the edges is a little blurrier, right? So that it saves resources. This does that technique, but instead of using it for local rendering, it's using it for streaming from your machine. So presumably, if you have this wireless adapter either connected to the GameCube, I will call it the GameCube, or your own 4090 whatever machine you have, it will then send that signal to where your eyes are looking rather than to the whole screen, so that the whole screen will be visible, obviously, but only where you are looking will get all of the real energy. And by and large, based on some tests that people have done, they look around real fast. You can never catch up, right? It's very, very, very well optimized to do so. So that way you're not like maximizing or filling your entire bandwidth, and you're still getting like great gaming performance. My only thing that makes me a little bit less than excited about this foveated streaming thing, it's line of sight. I wish I could, like, because like in the past, I take my MetaQuest, I'm in my backyard, and I'm using like my MetaQuest and streaming stuff. This can't do that. It needs to literally be line of sight to wherever you are. So you'd have to move it to a living room or something, wherever you happen to be. It can't just be closed off in a room. So unfortunately, that may be just a small little minus for that tech. But I'm very excited to see where all of this shakes out, because yeah, this is where we needed to go from a technical perspective. But one last piece of it that I will mention, I saw these controllers. I was like, they're kind of going the meta route. They're like, it's uninspired. I wish it was better. I was completely wrong. This thing still does all of the same things the Knuckles controllers used to do, which is like, dexterous tracking. You can like flip people off in VR still individually. They'll offer a strap that then you don't have to hold it. You'll just kind of keep it in your air, and then your hands will be reflected in VR with it as well. So it looks really cool. So long story short, I am excited. I too I'm looking for a bundle for all three of them, so I can just add them to cart day one. I'm excited for it. We'll see what goes down. But there's that, gentlemen. Anything that we have left that still needs to be discussed on any of these devices? I know Everborn Saga, you want to discuss what this means for the gaming, and not the VR headset, but the fact that the GameCube exists now. What does this mean for the gaming living room competition writ large? I think, Paris, I'll let you take the first bite at that apple. What do you think, sir?
I just think it's going to push it forward. I think having Valve, again, like I said before, create a baseline for what PC gaming can look like in the living room, and creating, a device that makes it ease of use. It's not going to be attractive to everyone. People like Infinite Umber's not attracted to it because he has his high-end PC. But there's other people that, even with their high-end PCs, or they were console only, this just provides another option. I think the price is going to be the key to all of this, right? And then it's going to also spur other third-party hardware companies like a Lenovo, like an Asus, to create variants of this. The Xbox angle to this, clearly they're doing something similar. They know they have to now compete with SteamOS from a UI standpoint, from a usability standpoint. So it's going to push them to make that experience even better. So I think as consumers, we're the ones that win here, because we're going to have more options, and more options allow us to choose what we want. If I need the high-end experience, there's probably going to be something there for me. If I want something that creates value, it's going to be there for me. And just gaming wise, now I can bring all my games into one device and be able to play them, be it in the living room, in the office, or wherever I want. So it's exciting.
Yeah, I mean,
How about you? Yeah,
not like. Look, this year has been an unmitigated W if you actually care about games, right? Like, I know we argue about stuff a lot and we do whatever, but like, think about, this is a year that gave us games like Expedition 33 and Split Fiction and, Doom, all that stuff. And also a year where you had, let me not forget like Donkey Kong and all that, right? But like, we got a Switch 2 this year. We got this this Xbox partner device. We got the announcement of this thing. So if you're into hardware and you're into good games, indie games, all that, this might be the best year that I can remember in recent memory of gaming. Right? There's not enough time to play all the amazing games, and then you get hardware across the gamut. So I wanted to get that out the way. Now, I do have I don't know how this plays out, so this is a genuine question, and I promise I'm not trying to like lead the witness in any way. But like, if you have this device and it's in the living room, and it will, whether it does high volume or not, it is going to do something to the consciousness of the consumer, right? And if Valve can normalize this kind of thinking of, hey, a PC is a good thing for the living room, and having more options is a good thing. And they're going this open route, which is, it's not as open, but like, semi-open route that they're going with the Steam machine. And then you have whatever the approach Xbox is taking, which is going to be a more open approach that also includes Steam and all these other stores. Does PlayStation just do business as usual? Do they ignore this, or like, what does it mean that you're going to have two players in that living room space that are going for the open route? Does PlayStation stay with the traditional route? Like, what do you think about that angle, Paris? UK and then you, Paris.
Yeah, but quickly about that open versus closed. I mean, with what has happened with the open ecosystem that we see is permeating all around us, and Xbox going the way they're going, we've seen a lot of pushback in that realm. Not everybody wants that open paradigm, right? Some of us love that idea of having choice, and wherever we go, it's with us. And I've lived here for a long time. Some people had to be convinced. Others are still fighting it tooth and nail to this day, calling anybody who goes open failures for going open. So I think there will be a need in the gaming sphere for all the various people who play here. There will be some people who gravitate towards that closed ecosystem because they want that quote unquote traditional model, right? I don't know why, but some people really like that thing. I thought this is opening the door and making options, and I've always loved more options, but I've learned that not everyone likes that. Some people like that you buy my box, you play my game, and they don't want anything different. So for them, PlayStation might still be the great look, and they might still fulfill that exact need. No, we don't think that's the case.
I'm not saying that isn't the case. I'm just saying, like, I don't think it can be ignored. I'm asking what effect that has, and maybe that the effect is none.
I agree with you that it will definitely have an effect. I just think that it carves out different parts of the market a bit more, right? There are those like us who want that freedom and all of that, and there will obviously be growing pains there as well. But then there will always be those who are console mains who enjoy the most easiest barrier of entry, simple button press, start your game. And this may not necessarily speak to that audience, even if it breaks down a lots more of those PC barriers. Just the idea that there's a PC will always be what will stop them from going to it and focus on a PC.
So we could have an Android iOS kind of thing where
exactly
Sony is like the Apple, like, listen, we're staying closed,
exactly,
and then Android's like, we're going to be on more devices, but we offer you a little bit more freedom.
Yeah,
and some people prefer that. Like, I'm one of those people on the phone side. Like, you tell me this all the time about all these other things you can do in Android. I'm like, I don't care. Like, this is what I know. This is where my apps are. This is where my passwords are managed. So I'm just going to stay here.
But that's where it comes back to choice again. I think what Valve has done over the past few years, and now we're seeing that Xbox is going to do something similar. Open platforms are okay because it leaves it up to you how much you want to do. Like we're talking about how this Steam machine is going to be emulation beast. Only people that want to dive in and actually tinker and do that will take advantage of that. Other people will just play their games like they normally would. Or to the point of digital stores and where we are now, you have people that they're entrenched on the PlayStation store. They ain't leaving. They're already entrenched on whatever Xbox store is doing. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to leave in like, oh, now I'm just going to invest everything into Steam now, or vice versa. People that are heavily invested in the Steam, this is clearly going to be ideal for them because it just gives them another access point to play their Steam games. So it's choice. Do what you want. And that's what been Valve's mantra for years. They clearly say in the marketing of this, it is a PC. You want to put Windows on it, do whatever you want. Who are we to tell you what to do with this hardware? We're just providing it to you.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
So Everborn, to answer your question directly real quick, I think if nothing else, it will make other hardware manufacturers start doing a bit more as far as engineering to make it console-like. Exactly. To Paris's point, right? CES will be interesting because now everybody will be shooting their shot, trying to make another cube or a circle or whatever the heck they can that looks nice in the living room. because this thing looks very interesting. I think if nothing else, you'll get that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the other angle is what I see for this device, and what it means is there are a lot of people that like they primarily game in Steam, but sometimes when they want to play in the living room, they have a console for that. And I think those people, devices like this keep them engaged in Steam that much more, which it, in a market for where time is currency, like the consumer's attention and time is currency, I think that does have an effect, right? Because if you have a user that today is like, well, I have a PC, a Steam Deck, and a PlayStation or an Xbox, and I play the PlayStation or Xbox when I want to be in the living room, this device is going to say, well, now we got you in the living room too. Now, how big of a percentage that is, it may not even be single digits. I don't know. But I think for that person, it keeps their time over within the Valve ecosystem and away from the other consoles. And I don't know. But the reason I asked the question is, so this box is not going to have any subscriptions tied to you playing online. And I don't see a world where you have a hybrid device on the PC side and those devices require a subscription to play online. So now you're going to have two players in the living room under the TV sitting right next to the PlayStation. And the PlayStation is going to tell you, I'm going to charge you for online. And these devices are going to be like, yeah, but you don't pay that here. And we have those PlayStation games.
Mm-hmm.
And again, maybe people's comfort in the platform they're in overcomes that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's nothing. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but that's the thing that fascinates me the most about this, and just the on-point messaging that Valve has had. And it seems like people really love this as an idea.
Yeah, I don't disagree. There is an intangible something that will come from this. I think it's intangible because it's not directly translating to like console, to living room, like moving of the business models or anything like that. I don't think that all of a sudden tomorrow now Gabe cubes are in every living room. I hope that their relationship with GameStop continues so that we might see these things close to day one.
We need it in Best Buy. That's where we need it.
True, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. That's just not, right? But they did go to GameStop at some point. They started selling secondary on that market, and they started doing some things there. Hopefully, day one, you can see these at a GameStop. That's at least as close to brick and mortar as we're going to get. Otherwise, I do see this like, doing pretty good as compared to the deck, but probably not too much more, because in order to get the attention of those people who may want to buy this thing, it needs to be at those brick and mortars, I think, right? So but to Paris's point, maybe this is the different world that we have not seen before, where they start themselves selling this on their website, and then the ones that Lenovo and Asus make are the ones you see at Best Buy, right? But those will also be there.
Yep.
It'll be interesting
with their Windows variants as well.
With their Windows variants, exactly.
Well, Paris, think about this, right? In that full screen experience, we had this conversation the other day. Like, the Xbox thing is just an app. What I could absolutely see Windows 12 full screen experiences sorted out, but they let you switch what app you want to boot into. Now imagine a Windows device with full screen experience that instead of booting into the Xbox app, you boot into the Steam Big Picture mode.
100%.
And now it's a Windows-based Steam box.
100%. Yeah, I absolutely expect that to happen. This is what is exciting about Valve introducing this, because it will then push other people to do other things as well to compete. And like Phil Spencer said, look, in an interview I was on a couple years ago, it does not matter if Starfield or whatever is 11 out of 10. You're not going to get people to move digital stores. I'm paraphrasing, but the point is, if you got people that are invested in Steam, they ain't leaving. There's just not. So if Microsoft, forget Xbox, if Microsoft can have their OS be the place to game, because now you have the flexibility of multiple digital stores, you got the anti-cheat, all these things that come with Windows, and it's been curated and refined that it is user-friendly and accessible. Who cares if it boots into Steam first? Doesn't matter.
I would prefer that, but now let's get spicy here for a second, Paris. Now, Kay, this is tinfoil Kufi time, right? Now we see that Windows is offering this full screen experience, and it's extensible, right? You could like completely ignore the Xbox aspect of it, because full screen experience is a Windows thing. It's not an Xbox thing, even though right now you can only boot in Xbox. We know PlayStation has to be planning some kind of a launcher.
Oh, here he goes again.
No, listen. This is pie in the sky stuff, right?
Go ahead.
So PlayStation is planning some kind of a launcher, because we saw that cross-buy leak. You saw that, right, Paris?
Maybe
a little cross-buy icon.
See, I know he knows something. That was a pregnant pause followed by a sinister maybe. I know how you do that. But anyway, now that launcher comes out, maybe it works, maybe it's controller friendly and it works with, I don't know, the PlayStation controller and the PlayStation monitor and the PlayStation PC speakers, right? But what if, just like they worked out that deal and we saw the picture with Satya Nadella next to the Sony CEO for Azure, and now we're seeing these games playable in the cloud, what if that PlayStation launcher uses full screen experience and boots directly into the PlayStation? And what if that's how they sell you a handheld? Because they got all these PC games. And you hear Mark Cerny out here talking about they're working with AMD on technology that's going to be for the streets.
Can we pause for 1 second on what you're saying? You know who the real winner is in all of this?
AMD.
100%. They're just owning everything.
I'm just saying. So could you see, forget about Xbox, but a Microsoft Sony partnership where they sell you a PC based handheld or set top box under the TV that boots directly into the PlayStation experience?
Tinfoil Kufi time indeed. Oh boy. What would people think of that? All of a sudden now that thing they sold you, the full screen experience. Now that full screen experience leads you to a PlayStation.
Do you put that past Satya? I don't.
No, of course not. Man, look, all these companies are about making money. Let's break it down to that. They don't care about none of our feelings. They trying to make money. Whatever will make them money, that's what they're going to do. They're clearly not afraid to partner up with each other if needed. So yeah, sure, there's a world that could happen. But before I forget, one thing that, again, just speaking of printing money, on the Steam machine, the faceplate, companion cube for Portal. I will 100% get that.
Done. Bro, they like what do you call it? D brand has already shown you it. Like it's already out there. I'm already like signed up to get notifications.
Oh, I got to look that up then. I didn't know that.
It's out there. You haven't seen it?
Like, I just don't understand. Like, because the design language is very similar.
Oh crap! There it is. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I'm 100% getting that.
So the design language is so similar to the Series X, and I'm like, Xbox, you have all these custom consoles that you won't sell us, and you give us these console condoms that are the wraps, right? That's what they are. I'm sorry.
Oh, sir, why?
Wouldn't this magnet idea be genius for the series? It's a genius idea.
So making the whole thing accessible via magnets, easy on, easy off kind of thing. Yeah,
they would have. Listen, their hardware numbers would have been through the roof. Not even selling consoles. It would have just been faceplates all day, every day. I'd have like 20 of them. You remember the 360 days when we used to get the faceplate?
True. That is true. Yes,
they started this, and then they had PlayStation come out with their idea with the plates, and people are buying those. Although PlayStation does not take advantage of that the way that they should, just like their custom controllers.
Should be more,
it's like minimum effort, but like they do all of this with custom controllers. Imagine
Look at
custom face plates for the Series X.
Look at that.
Missed
That sells
opportunity, but
itself.
I'm glad
Look at
Valve is
that.
doing it.
Look at that. The companion cube. Come on, that's wild. And then of course we saw instances where you can like change the front panel and turn it into like an e-ink display, power it on, and then you can actually even have like monitoring data on the screen, GPU, CPU, memory, temperature and the like. Very interesting stuff. But yes, this is very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Weighted companion cube. Excellent. Anyway, so I think we should leave the Valve conversation there, because there are a few other things that I would like to discuss before we get out of here.
I just want to say one last thing on this, and then we can move on.
Sure.
I think that this is the rollout of this and how the media has fallen all over it and talking about this means Xbox is dead and all of this other stuff. It exposed
speaking of that,
so much.
Damn it! You mentioned this. But I now I should bring it up. Have you seen FarQ's video of you dancing over Xbox's grave there, Paris Lily?
Yes, I have, because I'm part of the reason why it happened. I kind of
hilarious.
Yeah.
Speak it out if you haven't already. Paris Lily wearing the Undertaker garment, the whole situation, and he's just dancing on X. And then there's like a thing behind him saying Xbox dead. Oh my God, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I was on with Web Dave, and he had made a thing, and I was like, no, you should put me as the Undertaker saying Xbox is dead.
And they animated it, the whole thing. It is hilarious. It's so good. Anyway, so real quick before we continue with the rest of what's going on here, right now in the chat, type in Gigasword. We have a couple already doing so. Type in Gigasword, scrolling down there. You do, and I will pick a random picker, and you will win a copy of the game by the same name on Steam. If you are one of those Ally owners, one of those MSI owners, one of those Legion Go owners, this thing is great for you on your Steam Deck or any other handheld device that runs Steam. So check it out now. Gigasword in the chat, and we will pick somebody very, very soon. Mr. Everborn Saga, before we won't spend too much time here, because I don't want it to do too much. This was going to be the Gabe convo, and by and large it has been. But I do want to talk to you about a few other things here. One that made me very sad. I don't know if you've heard about this. Did you hear that they canceled the new Splinter Cell remake that was happening?
I heard someone come out and say that wasn't true. I saw a tweet of someone from Ubisoft saying that when they worked there, it was something else. So this is the one where they said that they turned it into something else like X Defiant or I can't.
Oh,
yeah.
So that's the one that's been canceled. Is that what you're saying? Like, so the one that
No. What I'm saying is, it's this game that they're saying they canceled was not in favor. I'm not saying they didn't cancel it. Let me find the person who refuted it, because they said the Bloomberg report was inaccurate. And they didn't cancel it in favor of
let me jump in while you're doing that, because I do need to make my exit. I do appreciate y'all having me up. Yeah, the Splinter Cell stuff, what's true, what's not true. I'm just sad we don't have a new Splinter Cell. Just figure it out, Ubisoft. But no, I appreciate y'all having me up, man. And again, great discussion, and looking forward to those pre-order bundles when they come.
Listen, now, I'm saying this right now. When the Steam Deck came out, I ordered it on day one and didn't get it till 6. Like, I can't remember how many months after it released, because they were taking orders when they knew they didn't have any more. And so I hope that this year,
I was in the same boat.
Or this time is better.
Yep.
So
agreed.
Paris, before you go, I must ask you, next week, episode 200, please join us. We would love to have you jump on.
Oh, of course.
Something crazy. We're gonna be wild. Probably a long episode.
Yeah, I'd rather come to your 200 in Umbra's. Yeah, of course.
Oh man, that's just wild. He's just doing the most right now. Thank you for being here as usual, sir.
Thank you. Y'all have a good show.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Paris. All right. So Mark Rubin, who is, if I check his profile, executive producer on Play X Defiant at Ubisoft San Francisco, previously known for being EP on Call of Duty. So Mark Rubin says, I saw the rumor from Bloomberg that we were working on a Splinter Cell game before switching to X Defiant. I can say that is not true. When I got to Ubisoft, they had been working on a game for a year that was very ambitious but was struggling to find the fun, and it was not Splinter Cell. I then canceled that one and let the team pitch any game ideas they wanted. There were some ones cool, but I felt the scope and difficulty were too hard on some ideas. So we stuck with an arena shooter and found the fun quickly. So no, we didn't pivot off Splinter Cell to make X Defiant. Now maybe they were thinking about working on a Splinter Cell before I got there, but it was never a thing while I was there. My experience with Ubisoft was they were very open to whatever a studio wants to do, which is great. But I do wish we could have used more external engines.
Well, there you go. Excellent. Thank you for setting the record straight. It looks
and
like
he comments. He says, to be clear, because Jason Schreier reached out to tell me the article said that Splinter Cell was in development in 2017 and I got there in 2019, and that is correct. What my message was trying to convey was that at no time when I was at Ubisoft was the San Francisco team working on Splinter Cell, and that project was not canceled to make X Defiant. My beef with the article is that there was an implied action of canceling Splinter Cell to make X Defiant, and that is untrue.
And that didn't happen.
Maybe that wasn't intentional, which is fine. Just trying to convey the real truth. That being said, I really appreciate all the love for X Defiant. Sorry it didn't work out the way we had hoped. Love you all. So that is the producer his stance on.
Nice. Appreciate you coming with the facts, man. That's good. You know, don't want to put some non-factual information out there. That's good to know. So it looks like the specific Splinter Cell that I'm thinking of, the remake that they talked about, is still on, because that
I have no idea. I just saw the headline that it was canceled in favor of X Defiant, and then I saw what Mark Rubin was saying. So I wanted
it's a good threading of the needle. It's a good threading of the needle. No, that's good. Okay. So let's move on. I have a few more things that I wanted to discuss, but before we do, let me announce the winner of our giveaway. Now, we had a giveaway right on the bottom. You saw it there, Giga Sword. You could have won it. All you had to do was throw your name in the ring, and the random picker was gonna pick. The picker has picked, and the winner is Kisunagi. Congratulations! Reach out to me in the DMs as soon as you can, preferably on the X DMs or Discord, wherever's more comfortable for you, and I will give you a copy of Giga Sword. Shout out to you for winning, and shout out to everybody else who participated. We appreciate y'all. We'll do some more giveaways and stuff as we do, and of course, next week being episode 200, there'll be a lot of interesting things we do that day. So join us and jump on in. Before we continue, let me close the poll, because we had a poll up, and the poll was asking you, GameCube, you buying one? 46% said nah, not doing it. 41% said depends on the price, and 13% said day one. So that means there's a small, me too. There's a small PC hardcore focus group in among our mix. We appreciate that. All right, that's very cool. All right, we have some Xbox talk and some PlayStation talk. Let's start with PlayStation.
Okay.
And this thing has been, permeating the zeitgeist for I'd say a couple of days now, which is and it's a combination of two stories. One being a Ratchet and Clank multiplayer game that's been announced seemingly, right?
Yeah,
and
mobile.
We see a trailer for it.
Actually looks pretty good.
And they also have the talk of the Horizon Steel Frontiers MMO that's come out that people look at and went, hey, this is not that bad. Both not coming to PlayStation. and that seems to be getting some consternation among some who are talking.
So
what do you think of that, sir?
Let me explain what this is. You remember that Game of Thrones game that I was
loved so
reading
much?
a while back? Yeah. And then completely forgot about, but that's neither here nor there.
Mm.
No, because what happened in that, I hit like the cap where like you passed the
Then you had to start
onboarding
to pay?
and now they
Yeah,
no, it's not that they want you to pay, they just want to like monopolize your time and you got to do a million things before you could progress the story. And then I was like, I'm getting out of Dodge. But that game is a mobile game, but they also have it on PC, right? It's not on consoles, and I think this is the same kind of thing because who this game is targeting is not really sort of this audience. I think because it's on PC, people are getting it like they're like, well, if you could do PC, why not do the PlayStation?
Why not do the PlayStation?
Yeah. But are you guys gonna play it, right? And I think the people that this is targeting specifically is not the crowd, because if this game is only on PC and mobile, I'm telling you, it's probably going to be full of microtransactions, and you people are not going to be happy about it. Also, I'll say it is not going to look anything like this on mobile. I'll tell you that right now, because the Game of Thrones game looked like this in the previews, and when you get it on the device, nah.
Oh, so, see, we're getting updated information all over the place. The Infinite Umbra says new information has come out, with NCSoft saying that they want to bring the MMO to PS5, but it's up to Sony.
Damn. So Sony doesn't even want to put it on PlayStation.
Dang. Well, all right. That's something. Okay.
Yeah. So no, this does look good. And it seems like a full featured, like something you could use a controller with. Like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. This looks more fun than Horizon.
So can I present a little bit of slander, just a tiny bit, as a person who's a rare, I'm a minority in that I actually have played this franchise pretty extensively. I enjoy this franchise. I'm clowned because of it. I get that. I feel you. It's all good. One of the reasons I liked this franchise as much as I do is that there was diversity in culture that's represented here. Like in the games, this group wears this kind of clothes, they look this kind of way, they perform this way, they do these, they specialize in this way. This other group, they're very, very distinct groups, and it's kind of an allegory for life and all of that, right? Obviously, it looks like that has been removed away by and large for a specific kind of look, and
yeah,
to
but
me,
I mean,
that's a little bit minus.
One is made by Western developers. This is made by Eastern developers. And again,
it's the same IP, and that IP is known for that. So
it's also not on the same place either, right? So it's
true.
This is made for that market, and it seems like they're making it specifically for that market, because like we're not playing these kind of,
And by the way, Face BKNY brings up interesting information. He says the MMO is only playable through the purple emulation for PC, which that is true, by the way. I checked the app, Purple, and they said it's available to PC to Purple.
Is that an
Purple
emulator or a launcher?
It's NCSoft's launcher, but I guess the NCSoft's launcher will emulate the Android code or mobile code to Windows code using that launcher. That's probably another reason why it's not on Steam.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Will this
emulate a translator?
Will this work on the Steam machine?
Probably. Yeah, probably.
There's a lot going on there.
Well, if you run it on Windows, sure. This is all geared towards Windows, so it probably won't work on Linux. I don't know. I don't know if it's streaming the translator.
So it's almost like the Steam machine won't play all your games. They said it could.
Yeah, and by the way, about it. Yeah, Hidden Rogue Studios. I was just trying to say that without saying that, but I'm just gonna keep it moving, sir. I'm just gonna keep it moving.
And by the way, Slow-Mo, I see you in the chat. I see what you tried to do, and I notice. I find it funny that you only jump in to correct the record when you hear somebody saying something in favor of Xbox. You never jump in when it's other platforms, but we can have that discussion another day, Slow-Mo. I see you.
Oh boy. AKA join the Discord, ladies and gentlemen. Discord.gg/TGCP. Yeah, you probably want to hear what happens there. That'll happen in the Discord, most likely. But all right. Hollywood Rules. He's been a member for 8 months. Thank you, good sir. He says, good morning, Graybeards. From the moment the Steam announcement dropped, you guys were appointed TV for the definitive. Wanted to hear your points on it. Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. As time draws near, you're gonna see us. We're gonna be about that life. You know, we're gonna enjoy that. We're gonna show you all the things we can, and hopefully try to get in the room where it happens and get some coverage for it. He also follows up with a $2 super chat and says, fully agree, this helps Xbox more than it hurts it. I agree as well. I think it's an interesting time to find ourselves in. Oh wow, I gotta stop the show real quick. The great Black Skeleton's in the house. What's going on, good sir? It's been a minute. You know, the Longhouse Gaming Podcast is not upon us these days, but I still remember it fondly. Shout out to the great Black Skeleton for being in the house. I hope people are checking him out on his Twitch. I see you doing Twitch streams from time to time. Great brother. I appreciate you. So Everborn Saga, sir, what are we saying? Are we saying that this thing could be great? Is this their new way of doing the live service thing? Because obviously Xbox is doing it their own way. These guys seem to be farming it out. For me, this looked like NCSoft asking for a license and getting a license, and that's probably why.
I mean, I think this is why Sony sued. What do you call it? Slow-mo.
Yeah,
you getting called out because I was just trying to make a point, and you saw all of these. They was talking about the Xbox when the Steam machine got mentioned for no reason. You saw it. And now you acting like that came out of nowhere, like I'm making it up. That's why you.
Oh man, here we go.
No, you do not correct the record equally, and people can back me up on that.
So you saying anyway, he is a pony? Is that what you're saying?
That's absolutely not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying
why are you saying that he's only saying
stuff when people are saying stuff bad about Xbox when it's incorrect? Slow-mo stays silent and eats popcorn. When somebody says something he disagrees with about Xbox, he got to come in with his actually nonsense. Never once has he come in to correct the record when somebody was saying something stupid about Xbox. Never once.
Okay, so all right, man. We go. I'm not gonna let this continue because you know what's gonna happen.
Because I'm right.
Slow-mo's gonna join this live stream, and it's gonna last for like 5 hours. So I'm not doing that. It's not going down.
No, and I want to be very clear. I'm not
5 hour live stream for next week.
I'm not saying Slow-mo's from the stables. I am saying he has a very high tolerance for people saying falsehoods about Xbox, but a very low tolerance for people saying falsehoods about anything else.
Okay. Let's finish up this PlayStation talk. Have you seen this? Concord's back, baby. Are we excited?
Oh yeah. The community has to bring it back. I remember this is my old school PC gaming days. You remember the Matrix game? Remember when it went offline and then people brought up their own servers and then that's how you could get into it?
Of course.
Yes.
This is cool, man. Like I know slander, Concord, whatever. I hear you, but this is cool. Like I love when people go, nope. We love this game or whatever. We want to see it continue. So we're going to do what we can to get this thing back to life. And by and large, they've done that. Question is, when do the Sony ninjas descend? I hope it's not soon. I hope these guys can play it for a while. It's all right.
I think Sony lets this happen and like sees if it grows a cult following. It won't. But I don't think this is not Nintendo. I don't think Sony cares about this. I think
so. You think right now? You think right now somewhere in the lab, Herman Holt is like, nah, I'm not gonna pick up that call. Nah, I'm gonna let that one slide. He's just like, yeah, let's see how they mature this thing. Maybe this becomes his redemption arc. It ends up like having a life of its own. Because wasn't this his baby, right, Concord?
It was.
So there you go.
Yeah, but like everyone else, no one cares about this. There's probably 5 people that set up a server. And I hope they enjoy.
Hey! Look, it takes a lot of effort to make something like this happen. I don't think only 5 people care about it because this takes a lot of effort, a lot of work to get servers back online on a game that was server based only, that they had no assets for, They had to do a lot of back engineering to get this thing up and running, let alone get to be able to get as far as they are. So, I mean, I'm not going to play it, but I would say salute and respect to those who felt it was necessary to rekindle the fires. So there's
all
that.
12 of them. Yes, salute.
Oh, stop it. All right, let's see. So I read this article by the one Jez Corden, the great Jez Corden, who was here earlier today. Shout out to him, about Microsoft
Here in the chat.
changing the way developers. Oh yeah, he was in.
Because somebody's gonna rewind it. It was like, when did Jez come on?
Oh,
And he's gonna be like, like,
my bad. He was in the chat. Yes. His article suggests that Microsoft is making some moves to make game development on their platform, like they're working really hard to democratize it and make it very, very turnkey, very easy, to the point where they are taking a lot of the details that were behind NDAs and they're putting out on Front Street. Have you seen this article? And my question to you, Everborn, I bring this to your attention because you too have gone down the path of Microsoft's publishing arm and the
I've signed
Xbox
that NDA that they're saying is what do you call it?
But now it looks like all the information you need is no longer behind the NDA. They've kind of put it all.
I'd have to look into it further to see if it's true that it's everything, but I think this is a good thing. I don't know if it solves the ultimate problem because I don't know if this is what the bottleneck was, right? Like, what is the issue for developers to where they make a game and they can easily put it on Epic? It's for Steam, right? That's their primary platform. But because the platform is Windows, it's almost nothing for them to also put it on Epic or GOG or whatever, right? But for some reason, the Xbox store is lagging far behind in terms of
check it out.
Releases it gets.
This is where it matters. Check it out. Xbox certification, step by step. All of this was not available before, at least not to Gen Pop. But this is what you're talking about. This is it right here.
So I hope that this leads to them at least getting to a place where they have some kind of parity with at least the Epic store. Right? Because once you've made a game for Windows, it's just a matter of what the different launchers require to get in there. That the most everything else is going to be the same, right? So I hope that I don't know if this is going to fully help with that, but I hope that it does. And they're doing a lot of other things. So it isn't just open sourcing the sort of publishing standards. They're also doing things in terms of how Windows interacts with HDMI connections. I don't know if you can sort of like handle HDMI CEC instructions. Because I don't know if you know this, but as someone who uses their PC on the TV, when you turn on the PC, it will not turn on your TV because it's not sending the CEC instructions. Now that's a hardware thing. It's built into all TVs these days, and it's built into consoles. But it's not, even if you got a $2,000 video card, it is not built in, right? Because most people don't connect their PCs to TVs, but that will be changing soon. And so Microsoft is doing something about dealing with HDMI connections. I don't know if the CEC instructions requires special hardware. I hope it's something that can be done through software and they just send the signal, but I don't know how that works. I'd love it if it could just be a standardized thing where your PC can start turning on your TV when you wake the device. So there's that. And then they're sort of unifying their input drivers or whatever it is. So you can use one set of tools or APIs or whatever you want to call it to set up your controller as well as mouse and keyboard support. And you don't have to do those things separately. So unifying those things, dealing with how PC deals with HDMI connected TVs, and then this all kind of leads you into one direction of where they're going in the future, which is PC. And people keep saying like a PC hybrid. I really think it's just going to be a PC, what they're selling you. But we'll see when we get there.
See, when they say PC hybrid, I think that the other side of that coin that they think makes it a hybrid is the consolification of it, but that's more just UI
So,
UX.
sorry, really quick.
Mm.
6 Slayer. I have 2 of those devices, and yes, that is the problem. You cannot go higher than 4K 60 on it, and there's also other problems of the way it sends the signal. So I feel like I was getting a degraded image from it. So, and they had that device nor its drivers have been updated in over a decade. So I'll go
by
grab
the way,
one, but
Dorian Gray's not wrong. it just is what it is. But of course, we live. See, here come all the PC gamers in the house. Floodzilla, DisplayPort is the only way.
listen. I don't disagree with that, but how many TVs are having DisplayPort on the back of them these days?
Yeah, true. So that's why they're now maturing the HDMI stack to be able to do what DisplayPort.
Yeah, but once again, I don't know if that requires hardware, and if it does, that would mean that like AMD and Nvidia would have to start building in the CEC stuff. And is it worth their time?
I mean, as more and more of these things are TV connectable, I think that CEC hardware. I mean, realistically, you've bought additional CEC hardware. It's peanuts on the dollar for them. They can add it in.
Yeah,
they just feel like they don't need to at this point.
They just don't want to. It sucks. Yeah. But you know, what are you going to do?
I think I'll let Somo Backslaps, like the last comment, be the last thing we talk about here, which is that DisplayPort is the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's a sports reference, so I don't know what it means.
I do, and it's hilarious. But anyway, let's keep it moving.
Okay, Kay, hold these guys hostage for a little bit. I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. Well, we're getting towards the end of the show at this point. Before we do, though, is there anything we forgot to discuss? There's been so much gaming news, both in hardware and all that stuff, that I'm not sure if we missed anything. I could sit there and talk about the Steam information for mad days. The problem, he says the HDMI is the Miami Dolphins. That is terrible, sir. Don't do that. Anyway, so anything else that we should that needs to be discussed in the realm of this hardware? No, Floodzilla, please don't do that. Floodzilla goes, not Flood, I mean,
this is the
Fuzzy.
CEC adapter, by the way.
Yeah.
Slayer was talking about.
Yeah. Fuzzy Belvedere says, what about the state of play? That didn't happen, sir. At least not for me.
I didn't even watch it, so.
Yeah, I watched it. I was nonplussed. But then again, not every game is for every game. It's all good. But all right. So, Mr. Everborn Saga, I unless there's anything else that's out there, I think we could call it a day.
The last thing I will say is play Gigasword if you're into 2D platformers. It is very good. Only drawback is there's no settings. Do not say you were not warned.
Put Neon Inferno on your wish list. It's going to be out in a couple of days. It is also very cool, very stylized, very awesome for my handheld gamers out there. I am now super excited. I will tell you a cheap plug, because we are in the end of it. I am now super excited because cheap plug for me, first and foremost. If you are one of them Legionnaires out there, I put a video out because what did I do? I upgraded the back panel of my Legion Go. So as you can see, it's not what it normally looks like anymore. Now it has a 3D printed backplane. Why? Because I wanted to be able to do. I wanted to be able to, increase the hard drive. I want to be able to get more cooling in it. And now the thing I'm super excited about is in about 5 minutes, I have Legion Go 2 controllers coming to replace my Legion Go 1 controller.
I'm so glad you brought this up.
Okay, yeah.
Floodzilla, that comment is hilarious.
Okay, so yeah. So there will be more. There'll be more in the realm of handheld talk, because I'll be doing one of these more tutorials and things coming soon. Go ahead, everyone.
I have some handheld talk.
Okay.
Now
we have like 5 minutes, so go for it.
Yes, this won't take long. Shout out to Major. He put me onto this in the Discord, and I got it. Now this is the Ally X, the ROG Ally X, not the Xbox Ally X, right?
Screen, sir. Go for it.
Yeah, this is the actual Xbox Ally X, right?
Yep, and the old school Ally. Yep.
what I've done here is added the BBL. Now this is from
Oh.
Breed Gaming, right? And it gives you these grips. I swear to God, this thing feels as comfortable as a Steam Deck now. It has these right here. Here, this is rubber, so it feels really good. It gives you grip on the hands. Like this thing now feels as comfortable as this, right? So if you have and especially Hollywood Rules, I know you were one of those that have a current Ally X, so you didn't upgrade. Get this. It is $24, right? It's you screw it in here, you screw it in the back here. Feels amazing. No, it's Breed Gaming. Pause. Not greed, but with a B, right? So
Breed Gaming. Okay.
Breed. BREED.
Okay.
So
BREED. Okay.
Have a current Ally X. This is 24. It'll be the best $24 you ever spend. This feels just as comfortable as the Xbox Ally, and you don't have to spend $1,000. It's very good, very sturdy, does not slip out of your hands. You can get it on Amazon. Yes, Slow-Mo has it. So
very nice.
Breed Gaming, ROG Ally X grips, only $24. Comes in 3 colors, but black is the only one you want, so it feels like native.
Okay.
Very, very good. Highly recommend. If you did not upgrade to the Xbox Ally, this, and you want the ergonomics, this is what
we're talking about there, sir. This is what we're talking about. Like with the new handhelds coming out, I feel like we have been like always pushing forward that new handheld. You don't want a new handheld. Maybe you just want to make your old handheld feel a little better than it has before, right? You get good ergonomic grips for your Ally, make it run right? Or you increase the battery, like I did on this one. You change the controls, or you
throw BBL on it.
Or you throw BBL on it. Yeah, you let the old device shine. By the way, shout out to, what is this? Let's see, Bromain 5th Floor. Yes, sir. I agree with you. The MSI Claw is an amazing product. Which, by the way, check out my MSI Claw. I changed the thing, so it's no longer sandstone. It's now matte black. Beautiful thing. Another little modification you can do. I'm now in the mindset where we're not about the newest, latest, best. We like newest, latest, best. But we also like using your hardware to its fullest capability, giving you some mods.
Listen, at the end of the day, the Xbox Ally is great for me. But if you have a current Ally X, you don't need it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. If you have the OG Ally, I would say upgrade 10 times out of 10. I love the ergonomics on the Xbox Ally, but if you don't want to spend $1,000, you can spend $24 because the Xbox Ally is like 10 to 20% depending on the situation more performant. Is that worth $1,000 to you? It is for me, but I'm not going to tell you to spend $1,000 when so
when it's hard out there.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Breed Gaming, ROG Ally X handles. You can't go wrong.
All right, man. I think we're done here, sir. Adidas 20 member for 17 months. He just decided to say salute. Salute to you, good sir. Thank you for being a member for so long.
Sorry, Kay. It is. I don't know if I answered 6 layer. It is the Pulse 8 HDMI CEC adapter. You can use this if you want if you have a PC connected to the TV. If you want it to turn on the TV when it turns on, you use this. And I'll say this also works if you have a Bazzite box connected to the TV. And it works by default. You don't have to do anything. On Windows, you have to add scripts to make it work. But yeah, it actually works better on Bazzite than it does on Windows.
We have the great Nerds and Other Legends, another great member of our community. $5 super chat. He says, random shadow boxing. Yes, Avowed can be boring, but I still want to play the sequel. And I love Xbox in all its incarnations. Damn, he's just out there. Salute to you, Nerds and Other Legends. And then the final super chat, Great Lucius Augustus with a $5 super chat. He says, I need a podcast episode where me and Everborn cry about the economy. I can't buy these handhelds if you're focused on making sure the bills are paid, bro. Truer words have never been spoken. It's hard out here, bro. You know,
why buy a new handheld when you can buy a BBL instead? I'm just saying.
Hey, man, there's a reason why we're adding batteries to our existing handhelds instead of buying the
no, don't say we not friends, Kay, because you buying the new ones and you upgrading the old ones.
I'm being strategic in my purchasing. You can't just go buy the new one every day. It's not easy like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy like that.
You just pulled up an MSI claw in one hand and then Legion Go in the other hand.
Stop that. Because the Legion Go I bought for peanuts on the dollar compared to what it actually costs. So that's the only way I can afford those things these days. Because like we say, it's hard out there. We can't all be Everborn frivolous purchase with the 4090 in the bedroom, bro. Some of us got to make some strategic choices.
It'll be a 6090 when that come out. But.
You see? And then he's talking about me. Anyway, we at the end of it there, man. Where can people keep up with y'all ongoings this week, sir?
In the Discord, and as I say every week, you're gonna go to everbornsaga.com and use code GCP at checkout. And you can we got the GCP merch there, but we got also the comics and everything there. You get a 15% off. Doesn't matter what the size of the order is. Code GCP, all capital letters, everbornsaga.com. Other than that, we got a lot of irons in the fire. If you're a fan of Prince of Arcadia, the hardcover books, we have some new stuff coming that you are going to be very excited about. So
excellent, sir. Excellent. All right.
We're finally continuing that Prince of Arcadia story.
Which I'll leave that alone because I wanted to slander you, but I'll leave that alone because, you know, some of us have been waiting for a while. Anyway, as for me, you might catch me in the Dragon's Den because the man Lemetheus reached out, and why not? I'll be in the Dragon's Den this weekend, so come catch us there being a little bit more slanderous. Otherwise, I think that's it, man. As Mr. Everborn said, catch us in the Discord. That's where we hold court. That's where we do it real big every day, all day, and sometimes not so PG-13 if you want to hear that.
And that's where Slow-Mo won't interrupt you if you say anything stupid about Xbox. Bye, guys.
Ah, man, oh, man. He's really asking for it, ladies and gentlemen. But all right, till next week. It's been a good time hanging out with y'all. We'll talk to y'all later.
Oh, my God. Peace.